faster than the speed of sound. At an early age, he wanted to get out, to pursue adventures all around. Things got tough sometimes, but it's all good, cause Tails is his best friend. He's always there for him, he's his sidekick. Through bad and good times, over and over again. What you see is what you get. Just a guy that loves adventures. It's Sonic the Hedgehog.
And hey everyone, welcome back to the IDW Sonic Rundown. And folks, that last episode was a doozy. We basically did the entire lead up to what we're going to be talking about at the very top of the show. They taglined basically the last set of issues as the big lead up to Sonic the Hedgehog issue 50. Tagline as like the culmination of the past few years of Sonic the Hedgehog's comic stories. And man, oh man, did they deliver. Man, did they deliver.
Issue 50 is regarded as many as one of the best comic issues Sonic has seen, including and not limited to both IDW and Archie. This is an incredible issue on every level, and there is a lot to talk about. So we're gonna go bit by bit, and we are going to talk as much as we can. Alongside that, we have the after issues of 50, concluding the Imposter Syndrome arc, but we'll save those for a little later. I think we just need to isolate issue 50 and really have a long talk about it, because wow.
Oh yeah, and they made a big deal of issue 50. It had like, 9 or 10 alternate covers? They went full send with it. And also, my personal favorite is definitely John Gray's. Am I a little biased? Maybe, but regardless, it does go pretty hard.
It goes very, very, very hard. I'm pretty sure this is also an extra length issue. There are more pages than usual to celebrate and to contain all of the keynote within. So
I think it's actually like a double-sided issue too. Its initial, when it first went out, was like double the price of a normal comic book. So this is definitely a double-length issue.
Yeah, and we're gonna see why, because holy shit.
Oh, yes. So let's not waste any more time, fellas. Sonic the Hedgehog, issue 50. Ian Flynn as our writer, and Adam Bryce Thomas is our artist.
So last we left Sonic, Tails, and Belle, they were rushing towards the Imperial City. In the waiting is Starline, who has taken over the city, Kit and Surge, who are preparing their double cross to Starline, and Eggman, who is loaded up in a mech somewhere. We don't know which mech, but all the pieces are in place. Let's see how that plays out.
We see immediately inside the spire to which Starline has set himself in, Orbot tells him Sonic, Tails, and Belle have been spotted in the city, and he orders word to be sent to Surge and Kit immediately to handle them. He's out here boasting, my perfectly crafted doppelgangers will take out Sonic and Tails, the army of badniks will blitz all of global resistance, and I can finally get Dr. Eggman back to my side, where he belongs.
And as he says that, excuse me, Doctor, you're in my seat, as the Egg Emperor appears directly in front of the tower, and Eggman throws the lance through the glass. just full send. Full send. He does not care.
And also, there's a very good reason why he chose the Egg Emperor in particular, but we'll get to that when we get to that.
So, Starline activates the Speed Tricore. Superlative entrance, sir. Immaculate. Nevertheless, I'd hope it never come to this, as he switches to the Flight Tri. Because you knew I'd destroy you. No, sir. I didn't want to embarrass you, as he throws a punch directly into the Egg Emperor's face, causing quite the impact. Sonic, Tails, and Belle are in bewilderment. Eggman is attacking his own city? No, I think he's fighting someone. Before Belle notices Metal Sonic passed out on the rooftop. Sonic's confused. Somebody really messed him up. what is going on today? I'm very lost. Belle runs down to fix him, saying that she couldn't save Motobud. I know I can't save every Bannock, but I can't abandon a robot in need.
And Sonic himself does understand, but still asks her to be careful. Though, Tails does point out he asked him to repair him after the most recent Neo Metal incident. But Sonic's like, look, we de-weaponized him and we didn't know about Eggman and Starline at the time. Well, yeah, he still had metal claws and a turbine torso. My point is, Sonic is cut off. He disappears in an instant, and only an electric crackling sound has been left behind. Tails has no idea what the hell just happened, but then is wrapped in tentacles of water and whisked away. Belle witnessed that, but unfortunately she has been surrounded by badniks.
Tails is in shock. Cannot believe what is happening, as Kit introduces himself, calling Tails his target. Tails uses his trademark Tails to create a vortex effect and fly into the sky, flicking the water that has enraptured him away. Hold on a second. Why am I your target? There has to be a misunderstanding. No misunderstanding. This is entirely by design. It takes approximately 118 milliliters of liquid and 40 seconds to drown. This shouldn't take long.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. We then cut to Sonic being thrown into metal bars by Surge. I'm sorry. Have we met? I'll start. I'm Sonic the Hedgehog. Surge's response is curt. Oh, I know who you are. It's all I know, really. And that's the problem. I am your fault. Starline, Eggman, sure, they're part of this, and they'll get theirs, but it really comes down to you. If you had just taken them out, I wouldn't have been made. Or if that goes against your precious moral code, you could have just rolled over and quit. But no, you keep on fighting. You keep on giving idiots the freedom to repeat their awful mistakes. And it just keeps going on and on and on and on and on. And the whole world loves you for it. So I'm ending all of it. You, the doc, the world, it's all what you deserve.
Ooh, that is quite heavy. And surprisingly enough, Surge, let's be real, she's not wrong. And that's the interesting thing, isn't it?
She isn't wrong. She actually kind of has a point. Surge would have never been subjected to this if Sonic stopped Eggman. Let's put it like that. Would have stopped Starline. And kept the cycle repeating. This is Sonic's actions. His fuck-ups, his mistakes, his morality, and his code made manifest. Sonic looks a bit confused. Maybe I spoke too fast. Let's try again. Hi, I'm Sonic the Hedgehog. And you are? Surge is enraged by this, charging up. Yeah, okay. I'm Surge the Tenrec, and your speed of sound can't compete with my speed of light. As the two begin to fight, moving as fast as humanly possible.
They rush around this arena. They seem to be on even ground. Sonic's able to get some hits in, but Surge is not giving it up. As we move outside, Eggman is speaking to Starline, saying how he never expected him to be so cunning, but it's all falling into place now. The strange raids on my facilities didn't match Zavok's MO, so I looked into how he escaped prison. The warden had some choice words about your involvement. Such brazenness. So where are you hiding now, you miserable little scumbag?
Starline begins to monologue. Don't panic. Think. You're so close. This can be salvaged. He must have had a quick escape route built into the command tower. If I take the height of the tower, the speed with which he could safely escape, the prep time to launch that mecha and fly back to the tower, then the hangar must not be too far away. And if he's plotting that old clunker, then he must have more in storage. Ergo, Eggman is, not happy about his prey being gone for long. Have some dignity and stand your ground long enough for me to atomize you. Before a giant fist appears from the ground, firing missiles at the Egg Emperor, which he blocks swiftly with his shield, revealing the Death Egg robot.
This in particular is the one from Sonic Lost World, for the record.
Yeah, it's been a while since I've seen this design. I guess Eggman just keeps him in his back pocket.
As he's piloting it, Starline comments how marvelous Eggman's armory is, and we've got here art, Kino, beautiful full-page spread of the two mechs locked in combat.
We have not talked about it yet, but the art is insane. Like, this is one of those issues that, like, you need to read for the art alongside what's happening. Because good fucking Lord, Adam Bryce Thomas is built different.
Starline is begging Eggman to listen to him. My plan will work. The world will be ours. But Eggman relents. I don't share. If you really understood me, then you know I wouldn't settle for less. It's all or nothing, and you are nothing before me. As he whacks the shield across the head of the Egg Robo.
Bell, in a tower of some kind, is repairing Metal Sonic, trying to bring him back online, before using the Zeddy Zapper as a router to block the control signal to Metal Sonic. Which does work, but he goes in for a lunge, narrowly missing, only to find that Metal Sonic saved Bell.
That's very interesting, isn't it?
For reference, by the way, a Motobug was going to attack her, but he kills it at the last minute. So, yeah. What's even more interesting is that Bell mentions that they're connected. She can access their files, finding that Metal Sonic recognizes her as Egg Tech, and the connection to the Eggnet lets him know where to find Dr. Eggman. Well, this is interesting.
Let's start with this. I guess now we come to recognize Metal Sonic has a bonus sister now.
Yeah, I did not expect this in the slightest, but here we go.
Yeah, and again, you know, considering the canonicity of IDW, I guess that makes it two bonus sisters.
Huh, yeah.
Yeah.
Two bonus sisters, huh?
Back outside, Tails is on the move getting away from Kit. Kit's trying to whip him with his Hydro Tails, and he does admit, Tails does, that his ability to control them is actually quite impressive. And Kit wonders, why do you like these things, leading to Tails to spot the little crack in his psyche, saying that he hasn't seen his tech like his for a while. That gear he's got is a lot cooler. And Kit is honestly kind of stunned being talked to like this. He admits sheepishly that it's not his, but Tails says, I don't really care that you didn't make it. You're the one controlling it, and that itself takes a lot of skill and finesse. Which leads Kit to ask, why are you being so nice to me right now? I'm trying to kill you. As Tails admits, yeah, you are, but can we not try to find some common ground instead? You've got unique talents. I bet not many appreciate them too, right? Look, check out. I got two tails, right? I know what it's like to stand out. It took me a while to get a handle on these things, right? Wasn't easy, but thanks to support from my friends, I get the feeling, though, you didn't really get that kind of help. Do you want to talk about it, man?
Kit responds by saying that he doesn't need friends, with Tails then firing back that it's okay, I'm fine with competitive rivalry. Can we work towards that? Kit is, having a bit of a moment. Don't ask me what I want. She's not here, so I don't know. Tails muttering to himself, he's vulnerable but volatile. I've got to handle this carefully. My throat is getting sore from shouting. May I join you? What? Let's call a truce for now, just until you got the facts sorted out. I guess you, sure? Kit and Tails then move towards each other as Tails approaches. First, may I ask what's going on with the Badniks? Starline summoned them. He's army. Starline. He tried to kidnap me once. I don't know why, but it was probably for something awful. Did he hurt you? Softly, Kit says yes. Repeatedly. Made me forget. Made me happy it happened. And then he screams, I hate him. In doing so, Kit turns his jetpack water into a series of piercing thorns that cover around him. He quickly says, I want to stop him too. Can we agree to do that together? Kit's confused. You'll help me? Sure, it's what heroes do. Then what? Let's take that one step at a time. The most important thing is we stop his plans, right? Yeah, I guess so. Great, then let's find Sonic, and then immediately the atmosphere and tone of the scene changes. No, Surge has to destroy Sonic. It's all she wants. I won't let you stop her.
We go back to that fight. Sonic and Surge still on even ground. Sonic says it's been a while since he tussled like this. I hope you're having fun too. While Surge is pissed to see that he thinks this is fun. You're not supposed to be having fun. This is a duel to the death. Yeah, I've gotten used to those. You know, I fought a few folks with the whole the world wronged me so I'm gonna destroy the world whole shtick, you know? And Surge starts moving around Sonic rapidly, screaming how this isn't a shtick, this is who I am. Very interesting choice of words there, Ian, but I digress.
Yeah, Sonic closes his eyes. I appreciate that. I really do. Before instantly moving, sliding into Surge, and causing her to trip and fall up against a bar. I don't know your full story, so I can't really judge, but I can't let you hurt anyone. So end it. Nope. I'd rather give you a chance to rebound. You can't be this naive. I like to keep it simple. Here comes the speech. I live for the moment. I want to see the world, find all its thrills and adventures, and enjoy them. I want everyone to have the freedom to do that too. And you wouldn't get that opportunity if I took that chance away from you. I've made peace with enough enemies to know there is a better. So I'm willing to chalk this up to a rocky start, and let us have a do-over, if you will. Just like that, just like that. The doctors, too, even them.
Well, I think maybe we should break this down a little bit, digest it, if you will. There was a little bit of controversy, let's leave it like that, when this issue came out, and a lot of people were a little, let's say, misunderstanding of Sonic's ideology here. There's one very, very important thing you need to know about Sonic the Hedgehog. At the very least, Ian Flynn's interpretation of Sonic the Hedgehog and his character. Sonic does not see himself as a hero. He does not see himself as sort of the authority in any situation. He's just a guy coming in to stop someone doing something wrong. That's it as far as he's concerned, right?
Yeah. And I feel like that's the problem. People associate Sonic with this idea of heroism, but Sonic is not judge, jury, and executioner. There is a debate to be had if he maybe should enforce that role more often, because if you really think about it, Surge is the result of that. But this speech here is Sonic's ideology. This is Sonic in his most open and pure form, if you really think about it, right? He has made peace with enough enemies to know that there is a better way. And he knows that that can be done for anyone. Shadow literally wanted to fucking blow up the Earth because he was pissed over the death of Maria and thought the human race deserved to be extinct, like Gerald said. And then remembered that that really wasn't what Maria wanted, and that there is more to life than that. I mean, even when you think of characters like Chaos, right? Where Sonic didn't stop Chaos. Sonic only did the right thing in order to help Chaos accept his emotions. Even characters like the Knights of the Round Table in Sonic and the Black Knight. He accepts them for who they are and tells them that, you know, there's no reason to try and doubt yourself or fight for a cause that you think is unjust. You know, you gotta live by your own way and you gotta be your own person. And people misrepresenting that as, yeah, he's just naive. It's not naivety. It's just a credo, and he follows that credo very closely. To say that credo doesn't have consequences, though, is kind of the core of this, though. And again, the whole comic has been building to this. This moment is encapsulating, like, yeah, Sonic does it again and again and again, but there's a reason that he does it. It's because he has history with it. So many characters have been turned to his side. Knuckles, Blaze, fucking Rouge, Shadow, even Silver. Just it's a natural thing for him. It makes sense in character. Why is there a controversy around this? Is my question. I don't think there needs to be.
If anything, if there is anything to critique about this, we can maybe say Ian Flynn did bite off a little bit more than he could chew in terms of how he's presenting this. However, I still think this is very good. I think what could have worked is, I know I mentioned this back when we did the Zeddy arc back then, is, you know, what if we had a scene expand upon the idea of, you know, what if Sonic did end up turning the Deadly Six to his side, but in like a very negative way? Where Zavok says, Sonic, I consider you one of my Deadly Six. You're welcome on the Lost Hex at any time you desire. And if necessary, we'll come to you. Which, obviously, in Sonic's mind, in Sonic's credo, that scenario would be the best case scenario, technically. However, it would also pose the question to the reader, would Sonic even want these people as his ally? And that's kind of like an interesting way to go about this, because we could have taken that and compared it to Surge, someone who is extremely bitter and angry at her own existence, looks at Sonic as the negative reflection of herself, and saying, if you could have just done the dirty work and called it all off and actually saved these people, we wouldn't be in this fucking situation, right?
Yeah. Entirely. And it's like, I feel like the issue is trying to present that in a comic that's already this packed. I feel like they had to make choices on what needed to be said. Obviously, this could have been included, but it could have been at the cost of some other scenes that we will be seeing quite shortly. One in particular is... oh boy. But yeah, I mean, I just think that the controversy around this choice of writing is just, it's another instance of people unfortunately lacking reading comprehension and understanding how this builds on each other. I agree that this could have been portrayed in a better way, but this whole idea has been basically at the forefront of IDW Sonic for its entire run. And now it's an issue when Sonic openly addresses it in a very important and reflective moment. I don't see the problem. I think that the controversy is unfounded, and it's okay to disagree with the decision and the writing direction. That's one thing, but I don't think this is like a betrayal of Sonic's character, or this is some sort of like change from what we're used to. This is just the norm.
Right, and speaking of Archie Sonic, I did see a lot of people compare this one bit of dialogue to basically a different version of it that was presented in Archie Sonic. Again, same issue written by Ian Flynn, and people were saying, oh, the Archie one was better because it is a lot shorter and concise of Sonic saying to Monkey Khan at the time, why do you let these villains get away all the time? And Sonic's answer is basically a short sentence saying, like, I don't know, man, I just live in the moment. That's kind of not my problem. And yeah, in IDW, Sonic gives the opportunity to just flesh it out a teeny bit more about exactly why he does this. And the answer, again, is simple. Sonic the Hedgehog is not a hero. He's just doing what he can to stop someone. It's basically presenting and saying effectively, Sonic could very well one day look at a situation and go, no, I don't want to deal with that. That's whatever. And that very well could happen. But we know Sonic's not that kind of guy.
Yeah, I mean, Sonic will always try to do the right thing and stand up for people and safety and care. But again, it's very similar to how people view Monkey D. Luffy from One Piece. People attribute Luffy to being a quote-unquote hero. Luffy is not a hero, and he very openly says that he is not a hero. He fights for his friends, he fights for the people that he cares about, and anyone who is not within that realm, if you're not going to be nice to him, if you're not going to give him food, is it even worth it? Like he doesn't, he's helping out of circumstance. He's helping because he gathers allies to him, but he's not a hero. And I think that's a very important distinction to make. This is a great moment. And then what follows is even better, right? So Surge hears this, says, reinvent myself. Yeah. Choose who I want to be. That's the idea, says Sonic. See the world. Yeah, that rejected me. No. What? If I volunteered to work with Starline, I obviously didn't have anything good going on in my life. If he kidnapped me, nobody has tried to find me. Fine, we'll do it your way. Surge instantly bolts from her position, throwing a deep rider kick at Sonic using her lightning. Yeah, give me that freedom to do as I please. No regrets. Sonic immediately responds by saying, nope, and kicks her into the rubble. Cause I won't let you take that from anyone else either. You can choose to be a problem, which means you choose to get a whooping from me. Surge appears again from the rubble. I was built to end you. Your morals, your friends, your world. I'm burning it all down and dancing on the ashes. Again, Sonic is not a hero. This whole sequence right here, to bolt it onto our argument, Surge is taking away people's freedom, the ability to live their life and be who they want to be. And that is a sin in Sonic's credo. So he is going to stop them. That's why he fights Eggman. That's why he forgives Eggman. Because he knows deep down Mr. Tinkerer was that glimpse of the person Eggman could be.
Exactly. We had that conversation in the Metal Virus saga as well. It's made very clear that in this continuity, IDW/game continuity, Eggman does have that little glimmer of light within him. And that's why Sonic lets him go each and every time and never wants to, take away his freedom. Because he knows if he wanted to, he could be a good person. It's fine.
You also have to remember, and again, I'm just going to make this very well known, Archie Eggman, Game Eggman, two entirely different spectrums. Archie Eggman is a war criminal, a murderer, has committed genocide.
Enslavement is also on the list.
Enslavement, yes.
Well, what else? I mean, I guess that falls under war crime.
Yeah, it is another level compared to Game Eggman, which is more mad doctor, causes problems, doesn't kill people. He's outwardly less, hostile, which is why Sonic sees that light in him. But you can never see Sonic in any way, shape, and form forgiving someone like Archie Eggman. Again, different version of Eggman compared to this. So, let us continue.
We move back to the Eggman and Starline fight, with Starline from his cockpit saying he's doing this all for Eggman's sake, but all Eggman sees is this upstart wasting his time, wrecking my stuff, and ticking me off, as he drives the lance into the chest of the Egg Robo. But Starline still sings Eggman's praises as a superior mecha pilot, but he ends up ejecting himself from the cockpit, boasting how Eggman chose the wrong machine to face him, to which Starline activates his Tri-Core, basically giving him a tri-ability of speed, flight, and power all at once. Behold, Doctor, the very power used to defeat that very model in the past. Brace yourself for my Tri-Core Blast, which is essentially a solo team blast, rapidly hitting the Egg Emperor, and he scraps it by himself. Actually very impressive.
This is an insanely based moment that we have gone full in on the hero's idea by giving Starline the ability to use a team blast. Holy shit. As Starline falls to the ground, and Eggman does as well, this is what happens when you don't plan for contingencies. Alright, pull up the art. Look at Eggman. That is the most menacing he has looked in a very long time. That is some Archie Eggman shit. That is some I am going to kill you vibes. I do not fucking care. I am the Eggman.
For the audio listeners to describe this, we're seeing Eggman as he gets up from the scrap pile. His whole body is cast in shadow. The only light we see is coming from his face, from the reflection of his glasses, and his big old toothy grin. As Eggman says, "No, Doctor, I played you. I specifically chose the Egg Emperor once I realized it was you who raided my power core reserves. I knew your obsession with my past exploits would give you logical tunnel vision. I knew you would use their power, however you utilize it, to its fullest extent. And thus, I know you would deplete its power just to prove your point." To which Starline looks at his Tri-Core, and yes, the power has been completely drained. And he says, well played, sir. I'm glad you're seeing it my way, as he tries to use his Hypno Glove on Eggman. But nothing's happening. Nothing at all, as Eggman comes closer to the light, and he's wearing his goggles. Starline is unnerved why it's not working, but Eggman says, "You told me all about your inventions, remember? You seem very proud of that glove in particular. Did you honestly think I would let you stay at my side without taking precaution?"
Starline is snapping, to say this. You actually listened to me, but you never acknowledge, no. This isn't fair. You've never shown this much foresight. Eggman's shadow stomps right next to Starline's foot. I've made my mistakes. One of them was tolerating you for this long. I refuse to lose, not when I'm this close. Starline quickly lifts up his shoe, preparing to inject the neurotoxin from his boot. But Eggman catches him. The glint in his eyes appears as he grabs Starline, takes his foot over the head, and smashes that motherfucker down on the ground. Pull up the panel, by the way. Look at Starline's face. and tell me that is not a prime shitpost image right there.
And also the sound effect of like, was it glock, glock,
No, it's glonk.
glonk.
Yeah.
It's like, wow, you could feel that shit.
Yeah. Eggman approaches Starline, taking off his goggles, removing the hypno glove. Little man, what makes you think you have any choice in the matter? Holy shit. So, again, I really need to contextualize this. This is the most brutal we have seen Eggman. The most menacing this character has been in a very long time. This Eggman does not play around. And I like that they flipped the switch. Because, you know, the Metal Virus Saga, it's like, oh, the whole point of it is to show that, yes, Eggman oversteps the details in his plans, and he's a bit of an oaf, and he intentionally leaves weak points because he's too focused on the grand vision and the execution. But then these moments come around, right? And it really shows you that there's a reason that Eggman is still a cut above the rest, and that he still can do shit like this. Because he's always thinking 5 steps ahead. And that is such a good way to sort of wrap the idea of like, oh yeah, Starline tried to make sure everything was perfect, but because Eggman has the X factor, the ability to truly predict and not be lost in logical thinking, he comes out on top.
It is the case. It's always shown that previously we've seen Sonic the Hedgehog being described as the element of chaos in Eggman's schemes. But, yeah, there's a very, very good reason why Eggman, despite all the care in the world, is still a problem for everybody. There is a very good reason, and this is it. He does think ahead. He does have contingencies planned. It's just that Sonic, for better or worse in Eggman's eyes, can come out on top and overbest them. Whether it be through brute force or strategic planning doesn't really matter. But what does matter as far as Eggman is concerned is that he can always turn things around. Even if it'll take a long, long time, he does believe, and for good reason, he can turn it around.
And this is one such instance. Yeah, Starline's beatdown is fucking brutal. Good lord.
Yeah, our boy's knocked out cold. And as Eggman stands over Starline's body, that is where Belle finds him, as she shouts for her father. She has Metal by her side, as she says that she found his letter, the one you wrote as Mr. Tinker, before Starline ruined our lives. Eggman turns around and says, well, yes, he does make a lot of mistakes. Putting him back in my right frame of mind was not one of them, though. She understands that by now. So, Belle has just come to say goodbye. My father is gone, and I have to move on. Father this and father and that. Why are you both so clingy? And Eggman leaps over to Belle and Metal Sonic, says, listen, if you're not with me, you are against me. Are you planning on dueling Metal Sonic tonight? No, sir. I just fixed him. Just like how I'm going to fix each and every one of the robots you abandon. Pin in that. We'll get back to that concept.
We will.
They hear a rumbling overhead. Eggman ignores it to just ask how Belle managed to bypass the control signal. She says that she used herself as a secure router. You interfaced with this coding directly? Yes? Oh, splendid.
This is, you know this line, and this, we'll say it. This has not been followed up on yet.
Is this a hashtag foreshadow report?
I mean, I think there's a good reason for it, and I think I know what it's tied to. So, I'm gonna leave it at that. Eggman then says, tell you what, you've done such a good job, I'll give you a choice. You can either join me as a mechanic, or you can go back to Sonic and his bothersome buddies. I said this was goodbye. Of course I'm going back to my friend, says Belle. Eggman laughs. Very well. Be seeing you, Belle. As more rubble immediately falls down as him and Metal Sonic walk off. Belle then sees Starline. Hey, move it. The street is caving in. Starline isn't doing so good. A full-blown mental breakdown. Sweat. Lost in his own thoughts. I planned everything out. Down to the smallest detail, I had every advantage, accounted for every contingency, and I still lost. I did everything right. He destroyed all that effort in minutes. I'm a failure. An utter, disgraceful failure. And that's when the ceiling collapses on top of Starlight. Belle is shocked and horrified at this as she runs away, the street continuing to fall and fill the pile. And this is not like up in the air.
No, it's not. It is confirmed. Ian confirmed it himself. If you need that extra detail, yes, this is the death of Dr. Starline. He's done and dusted. His story is over, effectively.
Asterisk!
With that being said, though, Ian did also say that if Sega really does want to bring Starline back, they will find a way to bring him back. Let's just leave it at that.
But yeah, Starline physically gone completely. So now that Dr. Starline has been removed from the comic, I think we can definitely say, what a great original character.
He was a good foil to Eggman in a lot of ways, and honestly, having a new, grand scale original villain was definitely something to help IDW Sonic stand out in its own right. I'm not gonna lie, I kind of do hope he comes back in some way, shape, or form, because I do definitely think that he can serve as a great foil, a good contrast to Eggman as we've seen him so far, and, I can definitely see the world where the story continues with Starline in play.
I think I'm okay with it ending here, mainly because Starline's kind of had his grand theory about the cycle, sort of, it's served its purpose as a narrative device, but it's also given us insight into, how Eggman thinks, how Sonic thinks, and then, what Eggman really without restraints would look like, because this is it. This is it. Starline did some of the most heinous shit imaginable, if you really think about it, and got away with it, and is now facing penance for that. So I love Starline. I think they did an excellent job with him. I think that this being a fitting end for him is very, on point. He just having a mental breakdown and just being completely consumed by his failure and in his logic loop, and then just getting crushed because he can't think. He can't move. He's just snapped. So R.I.P. Starline. Maybe we'll see you again one day.
Maybe, you never know. With that being said, Belle decides to leave below, and from the sky, we shift our focus to Tails. He sees the road collapsing, but that's the distraction he has to take when a water whip takes to his head, and he has to take to dodging more. Kid says he can't evade forever, you'll have to give in eventually. Tails says, yeah, that might be true, but you have to run out of water eventually, which given the size of your reservoir, must be right about now. And on cue, Kit's water coils dissipate, and to his shock, he's trying to just start grabbing water from a puddle, saying, no, she's gonna be mad, no, as Tails flies back towards Kit's pack, saying he's just gonna switch it off before he can refill it, as Kit is screaming at the top of his fucking lungs for Surge to come and help him. He hears the click of the switch, and he just goes limp and is clearly dejected and energyless. Tails looks at this and goes, man, I really hope this didn't switch off any vital functions.
Well, Surge and Sonic, meanwhile, are fighting each other still, kicking each other and bouncing off each other. Fall down already, she says. Sorry, I just don't quit. Much to Surge's dismay, as she revs up a lightning tornado. If you won't quit, then I'll end you. You can try, says Sonic, quickly hitting her with a spin dash, causing her to fall over off a cliff and onto a metal bar. Sonic quickly runs over as Surge is holding on for dear life, holding on to a what if, one might even say. I'm sorry, I had to.
We're as bad as Ian.
Yeah. Over this bottomless pit, Sonic quickly runs over and says, whoa, sorry, 10-second truce so I can haul you out, okay? Surge, however, has a different answer to that. Using her lightning powers, she zaps Sonic's hand, causing it to recoil. Heh, got the last hit. Before rubble falls from the sky, causing Sonic to have to move and Surge to seemingly have to fall. That's the real problem with giving people a choice. Can't stop them from making the wrong ones. Sonic looks away, dejected, sighing, saying, I need to find Tails and Belle. Who knows what else is going wrong today?
Well, number one, Sonic, I feel you there. But number two, at least he recognizes it.
Yep, and again, that's the whole point. He's not just doing it blindly. It's been shown many times. He recognizes that there's a fucking line to this thing, where it's like, he can keep doing it all he wants, but people are still gonna fuck up and make poor choices.
And again, we have to say, the line only goes so far with Sonic. Not an authority, not a hero, etc., etc., etc. After a certain point, it's kind of just not his problem anymore. He saves the day, stops the bad guy from doing the bad thing, and as far as he's concerned, that's it for him. The people can worship him as a hero all they want. He's not going to stop them from doing that. But understand, he's not the authority as far as he's concerned.
Yes.
Sonic then runs outside. He shouts for Tails and Belle. Tails flies down from carrying Kit, and I'm fine, just damn. So Tails tells him about his fight with Kitsunami here, and he was bent on interrupting your fight with someone. Yeah. Surge, Sonic says. I fought her here, but she ended up getting lost to Eggman's Nightmare City. Tails asks if he's sure about this Surge, to which Sonic says, well, she was tough, but I don't know how anyone can survive a fall like that. And in comes Belle, riding on a full-bore Badnik. Glad to see that you guys are both safe. Tails wonders why that Badnik isn't attacking her, but Sonic quickly asks, first, what happened to Metal Sonic? Well, I got him running up again, and then he went back to Eggman, then they left. As for the Badnik, I don't know. I modified it so it doesn't attack you, but it was weirdly friendly towards me. Again, recognizing her as fellow Egg Tech, she's kind of like a robot master as far as I'm concerned. Actually a cool concept, I wonder if they'll do anything with it. Tails then tells Sonic, honestly, it might be Dr. Starline actually behind all this. He's the one who sent Kit and Surge, apparently. A frustrated Sonic says, well, great, we're gonna have to kick his butt too then. Great.
Before Bill says, about that, and then, interrupting him, attention, Sonic and Tails, I'm afraid you've caught me at an awkward moment. My Imperial City wasn't ready for visitors, and then the late Dr. Starline just had to make a mess of the place. Nevertheless, you are guests in my home, and I must be a gracious host. So please, allow me and my ludicrously massive swarm of badniks to show you a proper welcome. Sonic, Belle, and Tails are surrounded in the Imperial City, ending issue number 50. Holy fuck.
All that and a stinger hook, huh? Ian, my man, you pop the fuck off.
Yeah, I mean, this comic has its reputation for a very specific reason, and because the writing and what transpires and the art and just, it all comes together so masterfully.
We've already said our pieces. The art, as always, is fantastic. Of course, they had to go a little step higher since this was a special issue, of course. We have that stinger still to deal with. Now, technically, this does end the Imposter Saga, but the next following issues sort of serve as its epilogue, as there's one little string that we still have left to follow from all this.
They definitely do. So, are we ready to move on?
Without any hesitation, we can continue onward from our highlight issue to Sonic the Hedgehog issue 51. Ian Flynn writing, and Thomas and Fonseca both did the art. The gang are on the run from the Badnik horde, and Sonic says he's all funned out for the day. He has to drag along Belle, and Tails is flying while carting Kit along with him. Sonic then thinks fast. He tosses Belle into an alleyway, making a twister in place, which tears up the nearby Badniks, and once clear, he rushes back in and catches Belle before she's able to hit the ground, and leads everyone to take refuge inside a barely built building. So in the calm, Tails and Belle look at Kit. He is unconscious. Sonic sees the coast is clear, and now Belle is able to tell Sonic the whole picture. I think this is Dr. Starline's fault, all of it, and tells how Kit and Surge were his enforcers, and summoned the Badniks to raise an army. Then Eggman fought back, and well, Dr. Starline is no more. To which our boy Sonic gives off the most zoomer answer he can give. Big oof.
Yeah, so there is a lot of... okay, so ironically, we have double controversy. People do not like the fact that Sonic said big oof to this.
To be a little charitable, it is to say that Sonic is minimizing what is effectively a major turning point in the comic and the world. To which that I say, I understand where you're coming from. However, we also do need to understand that's kind of just his personality.
Yeah, it's pretty much on both levels where it's like, I get it. The line is not the most tactful, but like...
It does fit. Really?
It does sort of fit.
And besides, it's not like Sonic respects Starline in any capacity anyway, considering all the shit he's pulled off. So, like, I think, of course, he would, like, not really give a shit.
Yeah, pretty wild. Tails says that he was ambushed by Kit. He fell unconscious when he disabled his water pack. Whatever Starline did to him, he's been deeply traumatized. Same with Surge, says Sonic. She jumped me when we fought, and then I saw her get crushed under a ton of junk. There's no coming back from that. To then, which we move to under the Imperial City, where there is a large-scale trash compactor from a wreckage pile. a hand appears, clawing from it, bursting as Surge lifts herself up from her fall. She quickly hops onto the rubble that she's a part of, jumps to the side of the conveyor belt, lets the smasher smash, quickly hops back on. First, recover from near losing experience. Second, get an edge, find more power, something. Third, grind that blue scumbag into the dirt. So, yeah, she's alive. I feel like everyone and their mother kind of knew this. We'll talk about this in a little.
Yeah. Back to the group, Sonic asks, while he appreciates the straight answers for once, Belle, how do you know about all this? To which she said she was able to interface with Metal Sonic and got access to some data. This prompts Tails to see if she can connect to the Egg Neck and get a city map or something. She tries to, but she can't access the network right now. But she does have records of a hangar one district over. Let's get a shuttle there. Which Tails thinks he can hotwire a shuttle, but it might be hard considering all those badniks chasing us. But Sonic says it won't be a problem. I'll distract them, you guys get out of here and just pick me up when you're ready. But Tails is a little worried. That group out there, 10 times the amount of badniks we normally face, if not more. But Sonic says, Tails, you're the only one of us who can get that shuttle going. Plus, someone needs to carry Sleepy Boy over there, as Tails just wishes that Sonic could have some backup. Belle could probably do one or the other, but Sonic says you're not the fighter and you need a protective escort, to which she does apologize for. Sonic says don't worry, the world needs all types, you know? So hey, count it off. 3, 2, 1, break. And our boy Sonic, and this gave me a little grin, he shouts, let's do it to it. Heads out first outside.
As he quickly jolts up a skyscraper, he calls out to Eggman, hey Eggman, 6 bajillion badniks and not one of them can keep up? Boring! Eggman and Orbot quickly confirm the sighting. Recon has spotted Sonic in the Blue District, boss. I know, I can hear him from here. No sign of Tails, Belle, or the invaders from earlier. So he's baiting me. Hold on, Metal Sonic. Leave him to the badnik horde. He's planning a daring escape, so you're going to ruin his day. Track down the others and intercept as need be. And try to leave Belle intact if you can. She might prove useful to me in the long run.
Well, Sonic's still on the rooftop, says he figures Eggman's been dealing with a lot today, but feeling pretty snubbed right now, he thinks. Until one of Eggman's video transmitters, and the design looks like it's the one from Shadow the Hedgehog.
It is the one from Shadow the Hedgehog.
That's a very interesting callback, but it comes back to Sonic. Eggman talks out of it, saying, don't get too comfortable, rodent. You are in my city, and I'll tear it down just to bury you in the rubble. As the badniks start to level the building he's on. Don't worry, the fall won't end you. The sudden stop, however. But Sonic thinks fast on the way down, bouncing off the debris to break his fall, causing himself to get surrounded by more badniks. To which we move to the hangar. Tails is breaking some badniks. Belle is hiding behind a dumpster carrying Kit, and she panics when more of them find her, but ignore her, again, recognizing her as a badnik. Belle then gives Tails the heads up, smashes his tails near the ground, and they're whacked away. So he leads them to the hangar to try to get the shuttle working. Once inside one, Tails says it'll be a couple minutes before they're smooth sailing, but unknown to them, Metal Sonic is seen just out of the shuttle.
Sonic is running from a large horde of motobugs, giant motobugs, mind you, along with, I don't know what this badnik's name is, but it's the laser cannon model from Sonic Heroes that is featured in Egg Fleet and Final Fortress, right? Eggman proclaiming, are you having fun yet? As Sonic narrowly dodges a laser blast from said badnik, evaporating all of the motobugs as he begins to run, noticing the shuttle. It's been a fun jaunt down memory lane. I haven't blasted some of these models in a while. As he runs through, I think he does oh my god, I forget the name of the attack. It's like a spin, it's not a spin loop, it's like a tornado something. It's from Sonic Heroes.
It's kind of like the Blue Wind from Adventure 2, but like on a bigger scale. I know which one you're talking about, like the action move where he's in the air and he does the spinning thing, right?
Yeah.
All right, interesting. Again, a lot of Sonic Hero shoutouts even still. That's very interesting.
Yeah.
So as he does that, he's surrounded by some more badniks. He's taunting Eggman, saying that he's bashed so many badniks, it's hard for me to remember all of them. You can't beat me forever. Watch me. But Eggman says he's been watching, and I can see you're slowing down. Maybe I'll hop in one of my mechs and join you. Sonic thinks that might be a little too much there between running to the city, fighting Surge, and all these bots. I'm kind of running on empty, Doc. But he sees the shuttle coming in overhead. Fingers up. rides here. Eggman, offended that they start stealing his tech, smashing it's bad enough. But in the cockpit, Bell is worried that Sonic won't know what they're up to, but Tails has faith, and on the ground, Sonic is getting it and starts to follow him. But around the corner, Metal Sonic is also chasing after the shuttle, just a little ahead of Sonic, unknown to all of them. They hop up on buildings to reach the shuttle up. Eggman's pod's still following Sonic. He jumps up, Bell catches his arm, pulling him in, and once inside, Sonic asks Eggman, while he's still been following this whole time, do you call off the badniks now or did you just give up? I didn't want to rob Metal Sonic of his moment. To which Metal charges through with his powered boost, burrowing through the shuttle. It loses altitude, crash lands in the middle of the city, destroying multiple surrounding badniks. The group's trying to recollect their bearings, but they can still hear Eggman laughing through his pod, albeit quite damaged. Sonic gets everyone together, they're all mostly okay, but Sonic really isn't. His leg has been nipped, and now he needs support through the city. He says he can walk it off. Emphasis on walk. How much longer till we make it out? To which Tails says, we didn't even make it halfway out the city. Huh. Well, that's a problem.
Yeah, as badniks begin to encircle them once more. Yeah, so a lot of people thought this was just gonna kind of end here, but another instance of tact from Dr. Eggman. Pretty cool stuff here. It's mostly a setup issue, which is not a bad thing. It's just how it is, you know?
Well, I think that can lead us onward into Sonic issue 52 with writing and art both done by Evan Stanley. Man, Ian, you really just gave Evan a problem to deal with, huh? Little messed up.
Just a tad bit fucked up, yeah.
Well, we open. Sonic, Tails, and Bell look on as Metal Sonic stands quite imposing in front of them as he starts to gather energy for his boost, and Sonic shouts, we all gotta move now. Tails scrambles fast, getting Kit from his seat, pulls him out, and preparing his tails to boost him up just to barely get out of the way of Metal Sonic's crash attack. So Sonic leads them all through an alleyway, thinking Metal won't be able to get up to full speed in here. Once they're under relative safety, Tails tries to recall the layout of the city. Didn't get a good look at the map, but I think if we take a left, we'll start heading towards the wall. But that said, Metal Sonic crashes in, breaking his speed with a building. Oh, not left. Yeah, definitely not left. As Metal gives the group chase, Bell pleads with Metal, please don't do this, but he ignores her, leading Tails to boost Sonic upwards towards some junk up above, and uses his good leg to kick it down right on top of Metal. That should slow him down, they think. And Tails looks around the crystals, and he does recognize them, so he should be able to get out of here, as Kit tries to struggle free from Bell's grasp. And he flails, kicks Bell's nose, and she trips over him, and now he's pinned to the ground. Tails tries to calm him down. Look, we're not going to hurt you, but he says he needs to find Surge. I've been away from too long, she's going to be angry. But before Tails can try to explain, Sonic hears Metal coming and decides to make a big ass of Kit. Listen, Metal is coming. You're the only one of us who can stop him turning into lunch meat. We're out of time. Can you use your wacky water powers to make Metal severely regret his life choices? Are you in? And Sonic extends his hand, which Kit shakes, responding, yes, sir. I'm gonna need some water to recharge my pack, though. Oh boy, so I guess some things don't really change as far as this goes, huh?
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense, though. Kit's whole personality model is to, sort of follow others and not be independent, right? Like, emphasizing a very negative aspect of Tails in that regard, right? Ironic, right? Yeah, I don't know. It's pretty cool.
So as they look at his pack, Tails notices that it holds a pressurized reservoir. We're gonna need a lot of water. To which they hear a large katang sound. Bell kicks open a water tower. That's it. That's going to do it. So on cue, Metal arrives. Tails gets Sonic right out the way as Kit activates his powers, his eyes glowing, and restrains Metal's limbs with the hydro coils. And then Kit uses more of the coils to break the crystals around them and try to bury Metal Sonic.
Meanwhile, a slam is seen as Surge is rightfully pissed in a pile of literal garbage near an incinerator. This isn't going to stop me. Not be thrown away like some piece of squints, and then smashes some garbage, trying to claw her way out. Finally, before the ground starts rumbling, and a garbage shredder? I don't know if you want to call it that. It's like a bulldozer almost. Quickly makes its way through before Surge notices Starline's glove, quickly grabbing it. Starline's glove. There's no way he'd let it go unless... I guess Eggman was more than he could handle. I'm finally free, right? Doesn't matter. He was weak, and I can do better. I will. Surge throws it, and the glove falls into the incinerator. I will get out of this, she says as she jumps up onto the bulldozer. I'll get better, stronger, jumping off of the top of the bulldozer and onto a pipe and do more than Starline could ever imagine.
Ooh boy. We move into a supply closet with Cubot looking for some duct tape. And here's something shifting from the trash chute, thinking this might be something Orbot would tell me not to mess with. To which he peers open the chute. Hello? Which leads Surge to climb up it, grab him out of the darkness, looks at him. Ooh, looks like I just hit the jackpot. About time I had some luck. As she climbs out, with Cubot threatening, hey, you gotta let me go. I know ways to break a man's neck. To which was fallen on deaf ears as Surge is digging around some crates, finding one of Eggman's, dare I call it, a gat. Looks at it saying, this is cute, but not my style. You got something a little more hands-on? To which Surge finds something. It looks like a series of wristbands connected by cables, and she looks at it going, oh, hello, beautiful. Who are you? Robot, what is this thing? My voice chips are sealed. Yeah, well, you're going to be little pieces on the floor if you don't. Wait, no, I can't live like that again. So Cubot then explains. This is the dynamo cage. The boss has been messing with this for a while now. It's used to harness energy, like the wisps. It doesn't matter if they don't want to give you their powers, but the cage can suck it up no problem. I don't think he's worked out all the... But Surge hears everything she needs to hear. And she gets the picture and starts strapping the fuck up.
Yeah, welcome to our segue for the next arc. I don't know what to call it. It's a mini arc, so I'll have to think of a proper name, but...
The No Way Home arc, I don't know.
I guess No Way Home.
Then, outside, the group has reached the city wall. Tails flies everyone up as Sonic and Bell look on towards the city sprawling. Bell just wants to get out of here, but Sonic knows the longer the city stands, the more Eggman's gonna wreck. To which they hear an engine booming. Sonic figures, yep, right on time. You gotta admire that persistence. To which Metal starts rushing towards them. Sonic shields Bell with his body. Just as Metal goes full speed to attack, Bell gets in front of Sonic, to which Metal hits his brakes. If you want to get him, you're gonna have to go through me. And then, as she sees Metal actually hesitating, Bell relaxes, thinking it's been safe, but Metal then takes the opening, backhand slaps her away, and she's thrown to the side. To which Sonic calls that a low move, buddy. Okay, fine, let's just get this over with. And then they see to their side, an explosion comes from the central tower. Whoa, looks like trouble. Better run back to Daddy Dearest and make sure he's okay, right? To which Metal Sonic just glares at him and just gets out of there back to the tower. And as he leaves, Sonic asks Belle how she's doing, but she just looks a little dejected.
Just a little.
Tails flies back up, sees how everything's going, heard the explosion as Sonic tells him about Metal, how he had to leave. All that's going on at the tower. That's Eggman's problem now, whatever. And which we see Eggman making his way through with Orbot, shouting for Cubot, if you touch any of my prototypes, I'm gonna turn you into a rice cooker. But Surge makes herself known. So sorry, that was me. And she's seen wearing the dynamo cage, which is boosting up her electric powers. Oh yeah, this is gonna be fun.
Oh boy. Yeah. So, another good issue, mostly wrap up, but we are immediately getting thrust into the next phase of this plot. So Surge has a new toy. And what is going to happen with said toy? I wonder.
Rushing in head first into a situation without really thinking of the consequences sounds quite familiar to a certain someone as well, don't you think?
Oh, absolutely.
Regardless, let's move right along to issue 53, Stanley writing and Thomas on the art. Eggman's walking in on the chamber, clouded in smoke, demanding to know who's in there. You better not be there, Sonic. But a voice talks, walking towards him. No, not Sonic, but better. Surge is wearing Eggman's dynamo cage and says, so you're Eggman, huh? I'm taking your stuff. Eggman sees that Surge is just some flunky Starline hired and tells the Egg Pawns, don't aim for the head. I want the device back in one piece. But the Egg Pawns launch their barrage to Surge. But interestingly enough, the energy bullets don't touch her. And they're circling her body, thanks to the dynamo cage. As Eggman was walking away, She mutters, oh, what did she think the dino cage was? A hat? But Orbot tells him, you're gonna need to see this, sir. Eggman's surprised to see what's going on. That's not how this cage is supposed to work. What did you do? As Surge mocks Eggman, you doctor types think you know everything, and absorbs the bullets to power herself up, burrows through all the badniks, and gets right on top of Eggman. It's not your dynamo cage anymore, it's mine. And I'll use it my way. You're lucky Sonic's at the top of my hit list, but don't get too comfy, Doc. I'll be back for you.
Surge then busts through the tower, quickly running towards the Badlands, saying that rocked. A minute more and he would have been crying for his mama. Testing this baby out is gonna be fun. Before a voice is heard. I'm sure all the other kids will be very impressed by your schoolyard bullying prowess. What? Surprise! Miss me? As Starline appears behind her. Ah, so you're probably asking, but he's dead. How can he be back? Well, no.
You got a little asterisk here to follow.
That's why I said there's a little asterisk. Your new accessories are certainly a choice. You're gone. Oh, that'd be more of a problem if I were real. That little number's got you running on overdrive, including your brain, minimal as it may be. Perhaps I'm your fever dream. As to why you sought my counsel, well, it'd take all day to get to the root of that. It's doing what? Oh, no, wait. Yes, you're much better off without it. Beaten, weak, alone. I'm not going to listen to you. You aren't? Then who are you talking to? As Surge fires an electric beam into nothing, panting. So yeah, you guys ever know what PTSD is and trauma and how that can manifest in different people? This is an example. Surge is so traumatized and she's running on overdrive that she is hallucinating Starline's existence.
It's very harsh to see, and we're gonna see sort of like the, let's call it an unhealthy coping mechanism for it for now.
Yeah, that's definitely a way to put it.
The next day, at Tails' workshop, Sonic's been all patched up thanks to Tails and Kit. As Kit looks at Sonic asking, do you need more ice or bandages? And Sonic says, no, I'm fine. As Kit, panics and profusely apologizes. But Sonic just asks him, can you put away the first aid kit? As Belle is seen trying to rebuild Motobud, and Tails checks in on her progress. It's not really looking good. Doesn't even necessarily know what she's looking for, unfortunately. Tails then asks Sonic, what are we gonna do about Kit? To which he says, we gotta tell him the truth, you know? And Tails is not sure that's a good idea, but Sonic knows, as messed up as it was, Surge and Starline were his family. He kinda does deserve to know, you know? As Kit comes back, I didn't know where to put the first aid kit. I'm really sorry if I put it in the wrong place. Am I in any kind of trouble? And again, we're seeing another instance of that trauma, and, it's... This is one I kind of felt a little personally connected to. Let's leave it like that.
Sonic approaches Kit. Kit, there's something I need to tell you about what happened in the city. While I was fighting Surge, the ground was unsteady. She fell and was buried. I tried to help, but she was a proud fighter to the end. And Bellstar Starline take Eggman on. He's gone too. Nobody could come back. Now, just saying that doesn't mean anything. The panel work here shows it much more accurately. So Kit is listening at first, right? And then the realization hits. And then he just puts his hands onto his head. And the text is becoming blurred as the void of blackness around him expands and expands and expands and expands. It's a really good manifestation of what is going through his mind right now.
He's shutting down, effectively, is what you're seeing, refusing to take in any stimuli around him, because in what his mind is the worst case scenario happens. I think the best way to put this in best case scenario is he's facing an identity crisis. However, it's a bit deeper than just an identity crisis.
Yeah, it's less of an identity crisis and more of a, oh god, my entire life was dedicated to this singular person, now she's gone, what the fuck do I do?
In Central City, we see Surge doing a little funny domestic terrorism, folks. She's using her overcharged electrokinetics to pull cards towards her as a platform, but she sees in the distance someone in the shadows is moving towards her, got a weapon on her, And as we get to see, it's Whisper. Surge catches her and sees, I like your style. What's your name? I like to know whoever I'm pounding into the pavement whenever possible. To which we then see Whisper's point of view, moving through her mask, and we see her whips talking to her from the translator. Pink saying, she don't look so tough, we can take her. As Orange saying, we cannot allow this brutish display to continue. They have accents, that's very funny, I guess.
Yeah, it's pretty cute. Not much of a talker, Arya says Surge as she fires off some electricity. You're not worth the effort, says Whisper. You think you're smart, huh? Try dodging this one, as she flies over with Hover, before quickly switching to Cube, who says, oh, I hope this is over soon. A smash comes down before Surge quickly leaps out of the way, and Spike heads into the Wispon, quickly firing out Spike Rollers to deal with Surge. Whatever, who cares what you got stuffed in that umbrella hammer blaster thingy? You'll still fry just fine. Before recognizing that she is now out of power, as there is only a brief spark that comes out. She hides behind a trash can. Crap, this gizmo is draining me faster than I thought. There's gotta be something I can do. Get some more power. Oh, right. She quickly glances at Whisper, spooks her by jump scaring her, to which Whisper then fires a spike shot, hitting Surge, not taking damage, and absorbing it. It worked. I love this thing. The face of pure terror that Whisper has here is nothing short of mortifying, as she has now realized, oh god, she can absorb Wispon energy.
Yeah, and also I want to shout out Natalie Fordrain's cover for this one, the RI issue. It is just a very singular shot of Whisper's face looking on in shock. I think it's supposed to be this very moment that cover is addressing.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. Surge quickly blindsides Whisper and then slams her on the ground. My turn. Spike comes out and Surge grabs her. Whisper screaming, Pink. So this is your trick, huh? Keeping so much power to yourself, you should really learn to share. As she stomps Whisper into the ground and absorbs Pink.
By doing so, it basically gives her this sort of pink aura, while Whisper is forced to run away. So, suffice to say, Cyan tells Whisper to fire him at her, but Surge rushes past her to cut her off. So that forces her to think fast, telling Blue he's needed and goes in to swing at her with her hammer. But she catches it. Little disappointed this is all you got, and after you riled me up too. Whisper demands that she give Pink back, but says, nope, I'll pass, and slams her back into the ground, which releases Blue from the Wispon, and again, forcibly absorbs him. We then move to Tails' workshop. He's in a call with Jewel. She's telling him the Restoration is getting reports of issues from Central City, but they're all conflicting. Plus, most troops are still dealing with the Badnik attacks from the other night. Are you guys still in the area? Sonic and Tails both are there already. We'll go check it out. But Sonic wonders, if we do go, though, but Tails pushes him along, saying Bell will stay behind and look after Kit. Someone's got to be here for him, as we see him kind of bundled up in a little blanket mound.
Yeah, Whisper, however, has lost all of her wisps except for Cyan. Surge, who is now glowing a rainbow color, says, it's been fun, but I'm starting to get bored. What would you prefer? I'm itching to try out this rocket thing, but maybe the spikes? It's what you did to me. After all, I'm just returning the favor. To which Whisper snaps, grabs a piece of her broken Wispon, which is sharp, very sharp, and lunges directly for Surge. Surge being able to dodge every point-blank strike before looking down on her and causing a large cube to manifest. Nice try. Sloppy. Even with all that pilfered power, you're a mess. At least you're a consistent mess. Sonic and Tails then fly in. That's Whisper, but who's with her? No way, Surge, she's alive! Doesn't look like the close call back at Eggy's made her rethink her life choices, though. Don't worry, I can handle her. Surge then says, I don't care if you're not real, you're getting a beatdown. Oh, this should be fun! She fires off a rocket onto the car, where no one is there. The cube quickly dissipates as Tails runs over to Whisper, and Starline's shadow appears behind her. doing the same gun pose that Surge did when talking about her memories. Aiming a little low, don't you think?
Yeah, she's just like, shut up. But that's where Surge hears something nearby. It's Sonic revealing himself. Hey, yo, Sparky, glad to see you made it out. What's up with the fancy headgear? You know, our last chat got cut short, so where were we? Tails brings Whisper to safety as Sonic and Surge just go at it. Tails tells her, lay low, but Whisper grabs his arm saying, Tails, I need him back. And Tails says, we're gonna get them back. Just stay safe for now, okay? At Tails' lab, Belle and Kit are watching the news reports on overturned cars and injured civilians. But when Kit sees this, he starts to get up and opens the door to get out. Belle, needing to rush in front of him, asks, what are you doing? Kit says he wants to go help, but Belle insists he stay inside and you take care of yourself. But that kind of sets Kit off. His eyes start to glow. Why? I was made for her, and she's gone. But Sonic can use me too. I won't lose him. I can't. Belle tries to reach out to him, but he's lashing out with his hydrocoils. Belle needing to kick herself up to the ceiling and latching herself on a railing. Kit uses a hydrocoil to break a chain. She drops down, smothered by the debris, shouting that he does matter. He really does matter. As Kit looks back, but launches himself out into the field with his water pack.
And that is the end of issue 53. Oh my god. They're really not shying away from how fucked up these two are. You know, I do have to say, I like the idea of Starline's ghost and mental shit haunting Surge as a manifestation of her trauma to sort of impede her as she fights.
It's a very good way to represent that kind of trauma. And honestly, Surge and Kit in these moments are representing two different kinds of PTSD, effectively. The kind that haunts and the kind that, how do I put this? It's a kind that kind of burdens you.
Yeah, it's wild. It's just crazy.
And let's be honest, there's a lot of delicate care being put in that presentation as well.
Oh yeah, no. You can tell that the way that it's presented, the fact that Starline's eyes are never shown, only his glasses. Again, the idea of it being trauma. It's great. But yeah, another great issue. I love the Dynamo Cage, especially because it's this rare ass instance where Surge is just going ballistic. And it's a legitimate threat. It's pretty wild.
Sure is. We move to issue 54. Stanley writing, and herself and Haynes both worked on the art. Well, the fight in Central City is continuing. Surge shoots some lightning at a barely dodging Sonic and Tails. So the plan for now, keep her attention on him and just not on the rest of the city, which leads Surge to hit a charged spin dash, hitting Tails directly, which shocks his body and pushes Sonic down to the ground. While this aggravates Sonic's injury, Surge mocks him for that, saying you won't have to worry about that for much longer. But Whisper then calls attention with a whistle, Sonic asking that she not do whatever she plans on doing, but what she does, folks, I kind of love this. So she pulls out some refraction crystals, launches them to the air with her cyan wisp, launches itself to laser mode, bouncing off them to get right into Sonic. And Sonic looks at this and realizes, oh, I see what you're doing. He rushes towards Cyan and he absorbs it to get the laser color power. He tells Surge, listen, I've worked with these powers once or twice before. I'm about to show you how it's really done. And then fully charged laser color power and fires himself towards Surge and does a rapid attack all around him. And the only way she can hold back is using Cube to shield her body. I'm not gonna lie, seeing this moment actually made me kind of hyped to call that back. I'm kind of surprised they didn't do it yet, honestly.
Yeah, it's cool. Again, this is something that is interesting. I like that they're kind of using the wisps as a unique plot device. And hey, this is a good way to incorporate them into the story aside from Whisper's Wispon and make them more varied and interesting. I'm okay with the existence of the wisps in Sonic, but they need to be more integral to the story like this for that to really happen.
One thing I also do like is that the idea that we're going to see it in a little bit, but there is this sort of idea that I guess if the Wisps choose to share their power with an individual, they manifest a little differently. We're going to see that with Surge in a second, and I'll pick up back on that later when we get to that.
Surge is looking for an opening before realizing that Sonic is still just a ball. Quickly grabbing him, throwing him away, and taking Cyan. Whisper cries out as Tails says, as soon as you get close, she'll fry you. Unless we can drain her power, there's no stopping her. I'm not giving up, says Whisper. And neither am I, actually. Wait here, I've got an idea. The wisps, they're thinking, feeling creatures, says Sonic. You think I care, says Surge. I am sick of your holier-than-thou grandstanding. Where do you get off telling me how to be? Sonic then, says, hold that thought, and dashes away after seeing Tails point towards a store.
To her massive offense. But Tails leads Sonic into the hardware store, telling him hold her off in here, and in a minute, go to the basement into tools and appliances, alright? Yeah, sure, hold her off. Easy peasy, no problemo. To which Surge bursts in through the door and shoots the laser color power from her eyes, Cyclops style. Don't you dare run away from me. So this is what I was talking about, how the Wisps can manifest their powers in different people. A part of me thinks this may just be the Dynamo Cage itself and how it operates, but maybe not. A little bit of a gray area here. But that also did lead me to believe that the reason the Wispons were created in the events of Forces was to create a more like streamlined, more consistent ability use to be able to use during the war. So there's a lot to think about here with that one.
Yeah, there is. I do like this idea that they manifest in unique ways depending on the user, you know.
So Sonic is ducking and weaving from the eye lasers, to which Surge shouts that he's not so tough now. Where's the swagger you had back in Eggman City, huh? But she ends up doing a little bit of a Looney Tunes moment, ends up slipping on some loose bolts on the floor, face planting, to which Sonic cracking a very panicked smile.
He's like, I can't believe that shit just happened. Holy fuck, I'm gonna die.
I saw that shit in a cartoon, bro. What the fuck?
MGM Goldmire, bro.
This pisses Surge off even more. Sonic will fry over that. No thanks, as Sonic dunks an empty bucket over her head. Sonic's been watching a little too much Looney Tunes. What are you doing, man?
He says, I may not be in top shape, but it's gonna take more than that to catch me, as he quickly jets downstairs. Dang, you've been busy, as he sees a large wiring situation of a ton of power and electrical appliances. Thanks. Quick, stand over there. She really is ticked off. All set for whatever you've got. Surge then barrels down the stairs in spike form as Tails quickly attaches some spark plugs onto her, saying, sorry in advance, because this is gonna hurt, as she is jolted with a ass ton of electricity.
In this moment, Surge has basically become a living battery. Turns on all the power-sucking appliances. This should drain her power in no time at all. As she hears that, Surge is extra pissed. Oh, you want power? I'll show you power. And starts overclocking the voltage output and overloads the appliances, which Tails calls for the duck and cover. And then the overload releases from Surge, and as they peer up, they see Surge shut down and smoldering. Sonic hops over the crate to get the cage off of Surge, ends up landing on his bad foot and twists his ankle, leading Tails to just have to cover it himself. But unfortunately, Tails looks up and sees at the top of his stairs, it's Kit. And he looks at Surge, goes to her, Sonic asking Kit to go get that thing off her. We can't stop her and there's no telling what she'll do when she wakes up. But Kit is very upset. You said she was gone. I thought I saw her fall. She's hurt. Bad. Well, she's hurting herself. She's trying to, leaving Kit to lash out to Sonic, pushing him back with the hydro coils. It was you. You lied to me. You couldn't do it the first time, so you're gonna finish what you started. Well, I won't let you. And Sonic braces for the hit, which Tails blocks with his tails. Kit, even more angered, why would you bother with me? You already have him! As Kit is now ready to just finish all of this, but Surge is roused awake, which Kit notices. And then he picks her up to get her out of here, and turns his back to Sonic and Tails with his eyes glowing. Don't follow us. Fuck.
Talk about worst timing possible. Holy shit.
I feel bad for that little guy. He's got too much trauma.
Yeah, he is struggling out here. It's not good for him.
Well, later, back at the lab, Tails comes out. Tails comes back and frees Bell from the rubble. Sonic's legs getting a little bit better. Feels fast, he says, but just not fast enough this time. Whisper has come with them and kind of has holed herself in a corner. Belle approaches her calmly, says, hi, I know your friend Tangle. She told me about you. And hey, I'm pretty good at fixing things. You know, if you need a hand with a wisp on, I can take a look. And Whisper doesn't even hesitate to thank her and just gives it off calmly. To which Sonic assures her, don't worry, we're gonna get your wisps back. I promise. Then back in Eggman's workshop, finishing up on Metal's repairs as Orbot and Cubot come back with the damage report of all the inventory. Surge has reportedly trashed a new conch prototype, the E200 series schematics, half of the Air Eggmobile drives, and worst of all, truly criminal. Under the jail for this one. She stepped on Cubot's prized cyber singer Mika figure. Fucked up under the jail. Put cement under the jail.
Yeah, that's some real shit. This is obviously a play on Hatsune Miku.
Yes, I'm very happy to see Cubot's a cultured individual. That's all I'll say.
I mean, it makes sense, you know.
Of course. I think his favorite is Rolling Girl. Anyway.
Oh my god.
I'm not gonna go here. I'm showing off my weeb powers. Anyway, so Eggman thinks aloud. How did she do it? With her foot? No, the way she used the dynamo. She tossed its entire design on its head, and whatever tech the platypus stuffed in her is clearly having a radical effect. I gotta know. All plans on hold. If this can pay off, we can change everything. Come on, Metal, we're going hunting. To which then, our final scene, Surge wakes up in her bunk bed. They're back in Starline Base Sigma. Kit says he didn't know where else to go. We'll be safe here. I found food and some spare clothes, too.
Before Starline's ghost appears, saying, "Nowhere is safe, not even for you." We see a shot of Kit's perspective, saying, I'm sorry? As Surge screams to get away. "Right back where you started," says Starline, approaching. I built your body. I shaped your mind. You will always be mine." As she is holding herself, like crying. She's struggling with this before Kit hugs her, saying, "I'm sorry I left you. I didn't know. Please don't be upset." The hug is something that Surge takes for solace for a second before saying, "Yeah, well, just don't do it again. Don't worry, Drippy. We're gonna make him pay." And that is the end of Sonic the Hedgehog issue 54.
This is a very important scene in my opinion because it is cementing something very, very crucial. Kit and Surge are victims here. They're not the villains here. They are victims of circumstance. Yes, they're going about it the wrong way, but understand they are victims at the end of the day.
Yep. And that is the arguably the most important thing. You have to look at it from the perspective of the fact that Surge literally doesn't know what she wants at this point. She wants to destroy Sonic because it's literally the only thing she was built for, right? But the reality is that she can be more, and Sonic tries to show her that, and it's like the trauma is forcing her to feel that way. Yeah.
We'll move on right quick. Sonic, 55, Stanley and Thomas are creative team. Kit and Surge. They've rerouted all power in the base to feed Surge. Thinks like she took in too much as the breakers overload, so now they gotta go on emergency power. But she figures it'll do for now. Sonic and his friends ain't gonna leave us alone as long as we're not in lockstep with him. But Kit thinks, hey look, why don't we just call it off? We'll run and hide somewhere. But Surge just wants this to end. Today. It's their fault we're here, and we're gonna make them pay for it. To which we then move to see Sonic and Tails trekking across the desert, following the trail from some readings, and end up arriving to an Eggman base. But Sonic sees the changed insignia. Seems like Starline made himself quite comfortable. It's dark, dank, and foreboding. To which Sonic hears an engine sound from behind, and quickly gets tackled by Metal Sonic, being dragged into the base. Tails is about to rush in to help, but hears Eggman's voice coming from behind, shouting for Metal. And Eggman is, oh, he's so fucking back. Oh, he's so back.
We're so back, bros. Eggman rolls up in the Egg Walker Mark II. And when we say rolls up, we do mean roll up. This is the Egg Walker at peak performance, meaning that it is kitted out with all of the upgrades from SA2, minus the face shield. But that's okay, because god damn does it look sick in the shot.
And when Eggman sees Tails, I take it you're here with the rat. I know Metal chased him for now. So then the two head inside. Sonic and Metal are in their classic brawl. Sonic telling Metal that back in Eggman City, I haven't seen you be that mad for a while, but I did you put on the brakes for Bell. You want to talk about that, buddy? And Metal responds by pinning him down to a wall. Tails coming in from behind with a fly kick, saying he ran into Eggman, sorry about the delay. Figures he's here. Alright, Metal, time to go, but I ain't giving up on you for once. We then see We turn back the clock a second. Eggman was following Tails and he lost him. He figures to try to take a shortcut, but he sees that Starline modified the floor plan, so no shortcut necessarily, but he can still see the cage being tracked. But he looks on the scene. Wait, the cage? How could it be right on top of me?
Before Eggman, in a split second, fires out the fucking block from SA2 and fires a shot as Surge was looking over him the whole time. It scrapes her just a bit, but goddamn is it cool to see that pistol again.
Oh yeah, and that leads her to jump onto the walker, telling Eggman time's up, but he responds by grabbing her by the hair and yeets her off the machine.
He orders for his robots to hold her down, and they dogpile her before spikes come out of her and, well, impale all of them. Do you really think that would stop me? Of course not, I just needed a moment to prepare, as Eggman is typing away, clicking a button, saying this, firing his rocket launcher special from SA2. You know, just a whole barrage of missiles.
Side point, I really hope we see this in Sonic Movie 3.
I do as well. There's so many things from SA2 I need to see in that movie. Anyways, Surge narrowly dodges, moving underneath the Egg Walker, as he says cute. Very cute. Before firing the thrusters to, post Surge a little. Don't try to outwit me, girl. Unfortunately, however, Surge is not happy about that and uses her laser eyes to break the Egg Walker Mark II.
We hardly knew ye.
Rest in peace, King.
Well, Eggman stumbles out of it, and Surge just starts tearing into the metal of the walker to find something, and pulls out its Chaos Drive, and crushes it and absorbs it to the dynamo cage, just the energy boost she needed. But while she's doing that, Eggman tries to go plan B. Starline may have known about my bases, but not about my access codes, and he puts one in, and expects an escape hatch to open up, but it doesn't happen. But what this does do is play a message from Starline saying, "Doctor, you found my secret message, how exhilarating! I'm afraid your little cheat codes aren't as well hidden as you thought. This is my base, and I'll be making the rules. Your move." Which leads Surge to go on full power. I feel like there's some kind of meta joke here about cheat codes and stuff like that, but I digress.
Well, Eggman always has an out for every situation, and Starline kind of went up that. That's cute.
Yeah. One W. One single, very tiny W. Back at the fight with Metal, all they hear is Eggman screaming, "Stay back." Ooh, that doesn't sound good, Sonic thinks. Deja vu all over again, huh, buddy? So Metal has to rush out, and assuming that Surge is out there, Sonic and Tails follow him. We see Eggman trying to hold Surge back, saying, hey, let's be reasonable. I could always use dependable, motivated people in my employ, but Surge says, "Nah, shut up. Maybe you'll stop when I knock your teeth in." Eggman is saved by Metal tackling her, as Surge recovers by sliding back, boasting how Eggman's little pet robot won't stop her. "I've teared you more of them than I can count." And she's stopped in place by Sonic. Finds herself getting caught in between the both of him and Metal. So both Eggman and Sonic basically say surrender. But her response to jump up into the air, into the ceiling, and now she's panicking, thinking, great, they're working together. No matter how strong I get, they'll find another way to hurt me, hurt us. So Surge manages to crawl her way through the ducts, find where Kid is at, and falls through the floor. And she's now in like a fetal position, muttering to herself, "I'll never be enough, I'll never be good enough." But Kit rambles how he couldn't find Surge on the cameras, "I didn't know what to do." And then eventually Surge pulls herself together, just enough to say the plan's still gonna work. It's gonna have to. Kid says he locked down all routes. They got nowhere left to go. Now back at the group, Sonic and Eggman go a little back and forth on the situation. Sonic tells Eggman to talk, or else I'll pick up where Surge left off. But Eggman says, hey, I'm the victim here, okay? This girl stole my extremely dangerous, very unique device. Also, that's what the fancy hat is. It's not a hat!
Give me 2 seconds to consult with my associate. Suit yourself. I need a breather anyway. Sonic and Tails go into a little huddle. What do you think? We might be able to take Metal, but we still need to deal with Surge. Fighting both of them is a major risk. Yeah, as much as I'd love to throw down, Surge is a bigger priority right now. Eggman wants his toy back, but I'm sure I can accidentally smash it somewhere along the line. Alright, Eggman. We'll help you handle Surge, and you and Metal won't start anything till we're all out of this dump. Deal? By the way, Eggman is chugging down some mad water. Always stay hydrated, friends. It's mad important, especially in 2023.
Mm-hmm.
A true say, absolutely, of course, Metal Sonic could handle the situation, but your support will be quite useful. Sonic shakes his hand. I'll be watching you, and I'll absolutely crush you. Eventually. So, the three quickly get to work, looking at Tails' Miles Electric, him saying, judging by my map, there's only one way that's open for us to go. Ooh, a trap. Sounds like fun, says Sonic. Does it? If I'd known you were enjoying them, I wouldn't have made so many, says Eggman.
With the four going down the hall, Sonic thinks aloud if Surge will attack them, but Eggman figures if she does, she'll go for you and Tails first. Less visibility that way. Plus, if she has some sense, which is debatable, she won't think we're working together. But then they walk toward a kind of a big room with a bunch of test chambers inside, and then Tails finds a sheet of paper on the floor, which is data of Sonic's moveset from it. I think this may be pulling from Smash's moveset, like a teeny tiny bit. I can see a little bit of inspiration there.
Just a little, a tad bit. He was processing data on our lives, trying to identify a pattern. Creepy, but why? Tails quickly runs over to another table saying, I think so he could make us, but following his design. He made them? Indeed, says Eggman, walking up to one of the tubes. Biomodifications, cybernetic augmentation, neural conditioning. Any one would be difficult alone, and he was entirely successful, all while scavenging his own materials and equipment. If I didn't know better, I'd say you were impressed, Doctor. Oh, I am. It's a remarkable achievement. Dr. Starline possessed one of the finest minds I've ever encountered. Tails rightfully calls him out on this. He's talking about kidnapping and brainwashing people, and all he wanted was for you to recognize him? If you just told him that while he was alive, none of this would have happened. I know that, but I would never do such a thing. You just did. Not at all. Admitting the skill of a bested enemy only proves my brilliance.
Classic Eggman.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Classic Eggman.
Sonic sighs, saying, I've heard enough, let's just get this over with, as they walk into a large circular room with an open glass top.
Sonic shouts inside this chamber room, Surge, come out of here. To which she and Kit show themselves hiding behind a tube. Sonic says kindly, look, I really don't want to fight you. Just hand over the doohickey and we can all just walk away. Surge says, oh, it's good that it's not up to you then. And then we end this issue on the start of the big fight we were all building up to. Sonic, Tails, and Metal Sonic versus Kit and Surge.
Another great issue as we move towards the end of our No Way Home or Surge Unplugged arc. You know, I really gotta commend the writing team for going so hard on this whole PTSD, mental, illness angle that they've really, really pushed. And I think that what they've done is make Surge and Kit very, very, very realistic in that regard. So, when we talk about these themes and these ideas, right? When we were talking about Archie, we would often make the comment that this doesn't feel right for a kid's comic. This feels too serious. This feels too... Right. But I need to emphasize this because I feel it's really important when we're talking about, this. You need to see the way in which it's being presented and how Surge as a character is being shown through all this, especially Kit too. It is consistently emphasized how badly they are feeling from what they are doing, but they are only operating on panic mode because that is all they know as traumatized individuals. And they're using this as a way to show kids that. And I think that's awesome. It's mature enough to where people like us can interpret these themes, but kids will also get the point. It's why you have something like this, which is a very serious subject, versus something like, I'll just throw it out there, Dingo Nazis, right? Where I'll say his name. I don't fucking care. I'm going to invoke the name of Penders. Sue me. Because I'm making a good point here. Penders was using these things to try and show specific things about, racism and eugenics and a lot of very touchy subjects. But it kept coming back to the same problem of this doesn't fit Sonic because you're not presenting it in a way that feels natural, inclusive, or more importantly, built up to. If you're going to tackle these big ideas in these big
concepts. You need to do it in a way that makes it related to the character, in a way that feels realistic. And this is showing that full send. And that's why this works. This is why mature themes can exist in this series and in, kids media in general. It's all about build up, presentation, and how you interpret that and show that to a younger audience.
Yes, this is done with a lot of care, handled with a lot of respect to the situation. I respect it full-heartedly. So we'll finish off this arc with issue 56, with both writing and art done by Miss Evan Stanley. We open on the raging fight. Kit is ambushing Sonic with water while he's distracted, but Tails has to catch it, splashing it away with his tails. I don't want to fight you, but I won't let you hurt Sonic. And Kit does not respond, but climbs back up for Tails to follow him. Sonic and Metal are trying to wear down Surge as she's trying to use Spike Color power to buzzsaw Sonic's head and gets intercepted by Metal. We see Eggman, though, trying to tiptoe out the back in classic fashion. But Surge uses the hover power to move around Sandevistan style back towards him to get away from Sonic and Metal right in front of him.
We gotta talk about the art here. So the panel of Surge getting right up in front of Eggman. Surge has the glint in her eyes, and she's got this big old grin. It's so funny. It's such a good panel.
Love it, love it. Surge is about to use laser to blast through Eggman's body. Metal grapples her, but it was a feint attack. Surge grabs Metal by the leg, sweeps him around to hit Sonic across his body, using a motherfucker to hit another motherfucker.
Bro, listen, we've been talking about this mental health angle, but come on, man. She's just so fucking cool sometimes. This is, again, it's another reason that Surge and Kit have been so well received. Not only are they formidable, but the shit they end up doing is always cool. You don't look at Surge and Kit's fights as they're just gonna do some Sonic stuff. No, they're constantly utilizing their powers and how they're handling situations in interesting and unique ways that are specific to their characters. It's great.
Sonic then crashes into a tube with Metal trying to recover, and once near her, he activates Black Shield and traps her hand within it. She's clearly struggling to free herself, but Eggman boasts about how this is what she deserves for undermining his creation. But she thinks quick and activates the Dynamo Cage and absorbs the energy resonating from the Black Shield. And this is able to drain its power and overcharges Surge using Metal Sonic's boost to get towards Sonic. Very sick, actually.
Yeah, it's a great shot. Sonic is shook, to say the least. Quickly moves out of the way as Miss Surge blasts herself into several containers, filling the room with water. Eggman calls out to him, saying that if I were you, I'd get out of that water. Hey, I know I'm not a great swimmer, but I'm not gonna drown in a puddle. No, idiot. Before Surge quickly electrifies the water, and Eggman briskly pulls Sonic out. Your sense of self-preservation is truly embarrassing, Rodent. The Dynamo Cage is going to overload any minute with how she's using it. Keep her busy and don't lose before I've got Metal fixed, as Surge is firing off some spike attacks onto her. So now we get a shot of Surge using half hover, half spike. This is a great shot. I fucking love this. Saying just you and me now as she's fading in and out. As Sonic says, look, Surge, I think maybe we got off on the wrong foot. You know what? All right. My foot should be on your throat as Cyan Wisp laser beams fire out of her eyes. Dude, it's so cool.
And also, since she's using two powers, or I guess now multiple at once, I guess this does confirm that technically is possible. You can use multiple color powers at once, but maybe it being fed through the Dynamo Cage is kind of an exception. I don't know.
Yeah. I feel like that's kind of the thing that's being said here, right? Because it is like an energy source. It's a conduit, if you really want to think about it, for the wisp energy. So being able to use multiple at once, but obviously it's the effect of overloading the cage.
In the air, Tails appeals to Kit. He's read through Starline's notes. Hey, listen, I'm sorry for what he put you through, but it's not justifying what you're doing. Surge is hurting people. She's hurting herself. I think you know that's not okay. And Kit does take a moment, and it does get through to him, his words do, and he retracts his water. And Tails assures him Sonic's gonna make this right, okay? And now we move quickly back to Surge, and I fucking love this. Surge has activated unlimited colors, which is kind of fucking cool, actually.
Yeah, Surge is now utilizing all Wispons at once. It's pretty incredible. So Sonic begins to speak, trying to once again break through. What happened to you guys was seriously heinous. I get that now. You think that makes it better? That we'll be friends? Most of my buddies have tried to beat the stuffing out of me. Today's knuckle sandwiches are tomorrow's brofists. Sonic using a mirror to bounce off a cyan laser. Surge screams, I don't want your pity or your friendship. I want you gone. But why? Starline's not here to make you do anything. Freedom is right there, waiting for you. Just take it. As Sonic has been trying to get this through to her, he's been jumping on blue cubes that Surge has been using to try and squish him before he quickly falls to the ground when Surge disintegrates them. Tails quickly rushes as Sonic falls to the water and Surge electrocutes him, running to him and grabbing him, just increasing the voltage. You don't get it. I was built to live in your shadow. It's in my blood, my bones, my brain. There is no freedom for me, not while you're still alive. And in that instant, the dynamo cage snaps and the wisps are released as Surge falls into the water, passed out. Sonic, in complete disbelief that his life has just been saved by a pure coincidence. Wow.
That's heavy stuff, too. They see Surge passed out next to him, the Wisps help Sonic up, and Eggman pulls a repaired Metal Sonic out and orders him collect both the cage and the Tenric. But Sonic goes to protect Surge. You cheater, this wasn't the deal. But Eggman figured Sonic wouldn't hold up his end of the bargain anyway. Metal charges towards Surge and Sonic, but he's stopped by what is basically a water-bending wall toward him. Kit comes down, Sonic thanking him for stepping in, but Kit says, no, I didn't do it for your sake, and then uses his hydro coils to entangle Eggman in Metal, saying he knows what's gonna happen here. I've seen it before. Starline, Eggman, you're all the same. All that matters is what we can do, and how you can change this to prove your way is right. I'm gonna be where I'm needed, with Surge. To which Kit uses his water to lift himself and Surge up into the air, entangling his coils around all the support beams, and intends to bury everyone along with them and their pasts. And so, as the yanking starts to occur, Tails leads Sonic and the Wisps to get up and out. Eggman is fed up with the melodrama, and Metal just pushes us up to climb. Tails accidentally gets hit on the head with a stray rock. Sonic has to think fast and jumps up from the falling debris and reaches up for a broken glass pane for support. His fingers almost slip, but Tails is able to recover, grabs on fully onto the ledge, and supports Sonic up. As they climb up the hole, they turn back, and the place they were in has really been buried. Eggman, nowhere to be found. Quickly, he breaks out from directly under, calling all of this a waste of time. Metal, call ahead to the Imperial City and arrange transport, along with a snack and a hot bath waiting for me when I get home. I've got some important sulking to do. He turns around quickly and sees Sonic. What do you say, we keep this truce going for now? Eh?
The look on Sonic's face can only be described as pure anger, hatred, and rage. This motherfucker is mad. He is mad. Silence before he turns and says, fine, we need to get the Wisp back anyways. Next time, Eggman, as Sonic and Tails walk away with the Wisps in tow. And that is our set of main comics for today. We do have one more, but oh my god.
This was incredible. I know that this wasn't the intention, but I think I just need to rip the bandage out. The story ends with Surge and Kit, two deeply traumatized individuals, effectively committing suicide. It is gruesome, it's not a pretty thought, and it hurts to see. It really does hurt to see. However, it's a comic book. I do kind of hope we can get Surge and Kit back as characters, because these are very, very interesting characters. I really hope we can see these two grow from their trauma and learn. Maybe not necessarily come back as like true allies to Sonic, but maybe as two people trying to learn their best ways. I can very easily see a 4-issue miniseries starring these two trying to learn their way in a new world and a new life, trying to move on from their trauma.
Yeah, I feel like them as anti-heroes would probably be the best role, more akin to like Jet and Co., where they're not necessarily good guys, but maybe they have to do some soul searching and figuring out what they want. But yes, Surge and Kit are immaculate. They absolutely are going to come back. There is no way that they don't come back after like how well they were received, how much they were enjoyed, how just good they are as characters. They're fantastic. I've said so much about them, and I really can't say anymore. They're just so good. This whole saga has been nothing short of amazing. I fucking loved it.
I have nothing but good things to say about it, and we are kind of running over time, so let's just get this over with. Our final issue today, we gotta do our due diligence. It's the Sonic Annual 2022. Now, to talk about it fully, the stories presented are a little interspersed here and there. The theme of this year's annual was unlikely pairs. Basically, we get to see characters who normally don't interact with one another get to do their business, and we get some pretty interesting things to see.
Yes, there are some here they make me really, really happy that they chose the pairings they did.
Yes. Let's open up real quick with our first story. Story A, Guardians, written by Ian Flynn and art by Adam Bryce Thomas. Now, with a title like Guardians, I wonder who our subjects could be.
Oh, hey, there she is. Blaze the cat asks Marine to bring her in close as she'll handle the rest. Arriving aboard one of the robot pirates' ships, and completely tearing it asunder with flame. Tell me where the leader of the robot pirates is hiding. Well, leader, we're all that's left. Well, used to be. Do not waste my time with lies. Where? They're all gone. Captain Whisker, Johnny, even Min and Mum. The fleet's gone. You've won, princess. Blaze is kind of shocked by this. Marine saying, ahoy, do you need a hand? Did you win, Blaze? Are you winning, son?
Yeah, and Blaze is still kind of stunned herself. Marine has to bring the ocean tornado towards that ship. But then time passes. The sun is about to set over the ocean on the horizon. And Blaze looks a little dejected. But Marine asks, why are you so upset? You know, we've been hunting the pirates forever, and I can finally get that vacation. But Blaze says, no, we must stay vigilant. Marine pushes back. We won. Everything's fair dinkum now. You, of all people, deserve a vacation after all this. But Blaze herself feels duty-bound. I am the Imperial Princess of the Soul Empire, the Guardian of the Soul Emeralds. Either of these duties carry immense responsibility, and I have both. And that doesn't mean you can't relax. Well, if you don't listen to me, who can convince you? Blaze herself says nothing, but she looks on the horizon towards Southern Island. Maybe she actually does have somebody in mind.
We then cut to Sonic's world, in the Lava Reef Zone, in Angel Island. A long-awaited, long-speculated pairing, a long, open discussion between two characters that have not been able to have that discussion is about to happen. One that has been talked about for a long time. Blaze approaches Knuckles, who has been scouring through the caves. May I have a moment of your time? I saw a strange pillar of flame out this way. Take it that was you? Yes. The Soul Emeralds allow me to cross over to your world. They are not subtle in their use. Right. What do you want? Well, we are not well acquainted, and I am loath to place my burdens at someone else's feet, but Sonic's helped me to realize it's okay to trust and seek help from others. So I was hoping to get your opinion. One guardian to another. Alright, just stop. This is so good. There is so many little things wrapped up here. Oh yeah, they're both guardians. So it would make sense that Blaze, who has learned from her experiences to trust people from Sonic, and Knuckles, who has learned to trust people from Sonic, to meet up because they have similar character arcs. Oh, it's so good!
Knuckles starts to lead her. Let's talk. So as they walk, Blaze asks, you guard this island for all your life, and I wanted to ask you, is it ever okay to step away? Shouldn't you honor your duty at all times? You're a princess, right? Knuckles asks. Don't you have any royal duties? On occasion, there are ministers who handle the bulk of the administration. All I do is review the paperwork. The Empire has been so peaceful and prosperous. I used that time to hunt down the robot pirates that plague the seas, but now they've all been defeated. My world is at peace. I should be thankful for that. And the Soul Emeralds are kept under secure constant watch, if not on my person. Well, can you hide them in a more suitable place? Yes, I suppose I can place a heavier guard there as well. As they're walking through Lava Reef and move into Hidden Palace, Knuckles figures after all that, you still don't want to step away. Because if something goes wrong, you won't be there to fix it. And she's excited, says, yes, I knew you would understand. And then Knuckles turns, directly in the eye, you should take a vacation.
Extremely based. You're serious. The Master Emerald can't leave the island, so I can't hide it anywhere that's more secure. I'm on my own up here, and any time I do leave for the greater good, I'm always taking a gamble. The situation you're in right now, It's a gift. Don't squander it. Blaze then says it was nice being around everyone again, and then shakes Knuckles' hand saying, "Thank you for your insight. It means a great deal to me." My pleasure. It's nice to talk to somebody who understands responsibility for once. Owned.
And also, I do want to shout out the staging of the scene, if you want to put it like that, because they're in the area where the Master Emerald was in Hidden Palace. So above, they actually see the crater that was left behind by the Death Egg, and the stars themselves are actually the rift that was left behind by the destroyed Warp Topaz. It's actually very beautiful to look at.
Yeah, it's really, really pretty. It's a beautiful, beautiful shot.
So Blaze thinks that she should repay his kindness. Perhaps I should monitor your island for you. Give you some time off? No working vacation for you. Besides, I don't like laying my burdens at other people's feet either. Very well. I have preparations to make then. And then, in a pillar of fire, she transports herself back home. On her world now, she's leading Marine and the Koala Guards to Coral Cave Island, the shrine of the Jeweled Scepter, and place it back into place. Marine complains that it was pretty heavy, as Gardon relays how patrol ships will be around the island. Guard has been tripled, and as ordered, no one but you or Captain Marine will be granted access to this chamber. To which she relieves Gardon as Marine starts to sniffle. She's happy Blaze will treat herself now, but I'm gonna miss my friend. Blaze says she'll miss her too, but it's not too late to change your mind and come in with. But Marine says, nope, the world needs someone fearless and competent like me to stay behind and watch the ship. To which I mean everything, by the way. And if any Drongo wants to cause a problem, I'll use the Jeweled Scepter to call you back home. Blaze then thinks the Soul Emeralds will call her home, but thank you, Captain Marine. You've become very reliable. My pleasure, Your Highness. Now get out of here! Blaze launches her fire pillar, which connects her to Floral Forest Village, starting day 1 of her vacation. We then look beyond. Sonic and Amy are having a tea party with Cream, and Amy is telling the story about the wildfire at the campground. When Blaze overhears about fire, she quips how she could have been of help there. Cream then rushes to Blaze in a hug, asking what the occasion is. Oh, nothing dire, I'm just taking a vacation. To which Sonic's like, oh, an occasion in and of itself. Pull up a chair, kick back, and chill. Welcome back, Blaze. Thank you, everyone. It's good to be back. A very cute, short story, and we now have an excuse for Blaze to be in the narrative a bit more.
Yeah, this is their segue to have Blaze be a more ever-present part of the comics and the narrative. I guess it makes sense, as, Blaze's crisis on her world was kind of handled in Rush Adventure, and I guess this is just sort of cleaning that up. It also makes sense why she appeared in the murder of Sonic the Hedgehog, I guess, because IDW is canon. It makes sense. So yeah, great story, awesome pairing, so happy that this happened. It's been a long time coming, and I'm glad that Ian really got to bring that to light. Awesome, so good.
Now, I'm very excited to talk about this next story. Our story being...
Oh my god, it's so based. It's called Weapons.
Written...
Oh, Jesus.
We got a new face for this one. Written by Daniel Barnes, and art by Roethlisberger. Now, Daniel Barnes, oh man, do I have so many thoughts about this guy. So, to put it simply, he's a fan of the series, turned creative, and he's best known in the community before this. In 2020, he created a sort of pitch concept for a Sonic animated series, even gave us a full animatic and a pitch Bible. I do have it up here, but if you've seen the timer, we are way over time. I'm gonna give you a short version of this. Basically, he created a world which sort of has the vibe of Sad AM. The planet's called Mobius. Sonic, Tails, Knuckles, and Amy plus Tangle are called the Freedom Fighters. We got SWATbots, Robotropolis, and also there's a little tidbit in there about how the ancient Echidna race had once ruled over all of Mobius. I wonder where he got that idea from.
Yeah, same dude. Where did that come from? Smile. So Daniel Barnes is somebody who has been popping up a lot more recently in the community. Since 2020, we have his first major work next episode. And fucking boy.
Oh my god.
Oh boy. You guys are not ready for our thoughts on that, because holy fuck. This guy comes out swinging.
And let me tell you something, I know he did this for fun, but honestly, Daniel Barnes, if you ever get the opportunity, pitch this shit. I would love to see this, actualized. And even though, maybe it would need a little bit of tweaking, to kind of fit Sega's direction of Sonic now, but honestly, I'd love to see a more Sad AM style Sonic show. With you at the helm of it, you do it justice, my friend. He worked on issues 1 and 6 of Oni Press's Agretsuko comic. He wrote an original comic called The Black Mage, which he describes as Harry Potter meets Boondocks, and yeah.
That sounds incredible. I might have to read this.
And he also worked on the narrative for Guild Wars 2, which is an MMORPG from ArenaNet. And finally, one thing I find actually the most interesting, he wrote a Mario fan comic called New Super Mario Adventures, and it really does have the vibe of what could have been Archie's Super Mario. There's only 2 issues, but do check it out if you're interested. It's a short read. We start, for the record, the story is set just after issue 36. As Tails finished Omega's new body, which he says, "Thank you. Now the unit is whole once more. My campaign of carnage can resume without delay. Processing appropriate response. Thank you, small fox." Don't mention it. And hey, before you head out, how about you have a little sparring match with Gemerald here as a test drive? Suggested accepted. I cannot guarantee Gemerald's well-being after the test. While I'm designated as a learning robot, I am also capable of teaching you a lesson. Well, the two head out to the trees and the fight goes on as Gemerald is evading Omega's attack. Gemerald fires his missiles, which land directly on Omega, but he just eats the hit. The reinforced armor was no match for his quaint artillery. You are a babysitter. I am the ultimate E-series robot. According to my files, you once fought Sonic to a standstill while serving as Eggman's enforcer, yet your offense output is well below established parameters. Gemerald deploys a shield from a punch but shatters quickly, and Omega makes a supposition. Your time caring for the small meat bag has made you weak. Your combat systems have slowed. Your tactical processing speed has waned. You have lost your edge. Proposition! Join me. You and I are similar in origin. We are both weapons that have broken free from Eggman's grasp, accompanying me in my mission to destroy his forces. Reclaim your original function as a battle robot. Abandon the puny robot family. And that kind of ticks Gemerald off a little bit. He leg sweeps Omega. Proposition rejected. Refutation. Our origins may be similar, but our directives are not aligned. You were built to destroy. I was built to evolve. My function has changed. My past does not inform my present objectives. My place is beside cream and vanilla, not on the battlefield. And from there, the two say nothing, but then start closing in on each other, each with a balled fist in their hand. And then time passes. The two return to Tails' workshop, Omega saying, "We are in need of further repairs, small fox." Tails and Bell are quite shocked to see the state of the two of each other, and the both clearly have really fucked each other up into disrepair. And Tails says, "Dude, I said spar, not no holds barred grudge match. I literally just fixed you. We warned you that welfare was not a guarantee. Gemerald may be a puny inferior model, but he possesses the lethality of a warrior. This unit acknowledges and respects his current modus operandi." Which Gemerald says, "Your acknowledgement and acceptance is reciprocated," and ends in a bro fist of respect.
Incredible. Holy shit. Yeah, this story is so based. We could have dove a little bit more into it, but like, goddamn, it's so good. It's just so good. It's so good.
I love it. And honestly, when I was reading it, it kind of does give me the question that it makes me wonder how Gemerald was designed, because Advance 3 implies he was rebuilt for Emerald, but this story implies he was built solely by Eggman based on Emerald's model. Much to consider here, folks. Much to consider.
Absolutely, man. It's pretty wild.
Now, our next story, Hero Camp. The team is 2 new faces, India Swift and Abby Bulmer, on writing and art respectively. So real quickly, India is from Ireland. She mostly works in animation, and this seems to be her few, if not her only, comic writing credit. She worked in Freelancer for Knights of the Light Table, which is mostly responsible for the animated Ninja Sex Party music videos, and she also had worked on Yonder Over Wander on Disney Channel, and also used to work as an animator for Sega Hard Light. So look how it all comes together, huh?
Yeah, it all just kind of ties in together. Holy shit.
And Bulmer, she does work on IDW Sonic mostly on the covers, and it seems like her first interior work was actually for a 2020 annual before this, just as a refresher. Now to start real quick, Vanilla is bringing Cream to something she's been very excited for, Hero Camp. And the other campers are actually kids from the Sonic fan club seen before. And Cream wants to learn about being a hero here, but Vanilla pulls out the pamphlet, thinking this place does not look like what was advertised, which we see inside the cabin. It's Orbot and Cubot. This plan was brilliant. We make a fake camp, then these half-baked heroes will give us the inside scoop on the restoration. And they're just dumb kids. It's going to be very easy as they prepare their disguises, which are effectively just Marxio glasses. They burst out with Cubot shouting, "How do you do, fellow organic life forms?" Orbot chops his head. "This is our counselor Cube-ert. And I am Orville. You will find no one more qualified to teach heroing other than us. Why, I certified us myself." Little smile. Then a kid asks, "Do you guys know Sonic?" To which Cubot chuckles, "How do I? do you know Sonic is the real question? But Orbot interrupts him, because we're going to put your hero knowledge to the test. Real quick, the first bit, Orbot and Cubot do some knot tying with the kid's wrist together, to which Cubot calls a double underhand loop-the-loop. One kid says, hey, wait a minute, we're supposed to be the ones tying knots, which Orbot almost slips up that this knot was supposed to restrain Sonic, but again, Orbot has to cut him off. Cream eventually ties herself free, cutting the rope with a very sharp mulch chip to Orbot and Cubot's surprise. She said she was reminded about how Sonic once freed himself from a bind by cutting the rope with his spines. So Cubot writes that down, rope not a weakness. So then they build the hideout, to which the kids take as building a treehouse, to which Orbot and Cubot say they are trying to get them to recreate Restoration HQ, to which asks Cream, as a member of Sonic's inner circle, what's your accuracy assessment? To which she says it's missing a few things, to which Orbot thinks the kids are holding out on them. But Cream says it's missing like the mall, the play areas, a chili dog stand. Haven't you ever? To which Orbot then throws the dramatics, well, we're starting all over. Cubot yanks the support rope and all the kids in the tree fall down. And then once night falls and the campfire is going, Orbot and Cubot want to tell scary stories, something that would scare even a hero. Maybe even involving a new badnik, perhaps bonus points if you give schematics. But Cream thinks, can't we just like take it easy and like make s'mores or something? And the two don't even really know what s'mores are. And that is where Cream draws the line. You don't know how to tie knots, you don't know how to build a hideout, or you don't even know how to make s'mores. You're no camp leaders. Get them! And she leaves the kids to just swarm Orbot and Cubot with their disguises unraveling. And then the next morning, Vanilla comes to pick up Cream, asking if she and the other kids had a fun time learning to be heroes. And she says, yeah, I did. But I think what I learned today, I already am a hero. To which Orbot and Cubot have been shown tied up, left a note behind for the restoration to pick them up. That's a cute little story done. So Cream, Orbot, and Cubot. I guess so? I'm not against the idea. It was a fun story. Although I will say though, if you want to see two massive juxtapositions, if you want to do this concept next time around, don't pussy out. Do a Cream and Shadow story.
Yo, real.
Honestly, I saw a fan comic once from, I can't remember who it was, but it was basically Sonic showing up to have like a play date with Cheese and Cream. I think Vanilla says, oh, Sonic, you're here too. Awesome. And Sonic's like, what do you mean too? And then comes in Shadow with his Chow riding on his motorcycle, pulling the glasses down. I'm here for the play date.
Based, so based.
Come on, do it, you cowards, come on. Anyway, next story here, titled Future Growth. Future, we can only know what this means. And of course, written by the two strongest Silver enjoyers, Evan Stanley and Gigi Detree.
Yes. We open on the garden. Everyone's helping around. Charmy is being a fucking moron with the shears, because, that's just how Charmy does, Vector chasing him. But Silver's kind of down. Sonic asking, almost done with the tomatoes? Yeah, I think this basket's good to go, as he squishes one by accident, spooked.
Yep, and then Amy tells Silver, hey, by the way, thanks for coming back from time to help with Harvest Day. Silver's like, yeah, sure, that's why I'm here. And then they overhear Tangle shouting how the potatoes will feel her fury, several shovels in hand, and Amy has to run to calm her down. To which Silver then just starts to mope a little bit, heading out to the nearby forest to take a moment by himself. But he's not alone. A voice calls his name. Espios, in fact. I sense you're troubled. Silver's like, no way! I'm always here on a mission for important future person-y business. You're also bad at lying. I know. I don't mean to pry, but if you're concealing some sort of danger, I would like to know about it. And Silver says, look, I'm not here for the harvest. Honestly, I don't even know why I'm here. Well, do any of us know why we're here? I mean, I do. I usually do. Look, every other time I've been sent back in time, it's to save the future from turning into another wrecked world. That's my job. It's my purpose. And I know what I need to do because it's history. But this time, nothing's wrong in the future and things are okay here. Everything's fine, but I'm not. So I want to say something out here. The wording here is very interesting. I've been sent back to the past. So this is basically saying Silver's not in control of how he travels back in time, or at least there's maybe someone else helping him necessarily. Evan, what are you cooking? What are you fucking cooking?
You know what she's cooking. You know what she's cooking.
What are you cooking, Evan?
We're not going to get into it, but if you know.
So Silver begins to panic. Am I missing something? Will disaster strike tomorrow? To which Espio says, stop, calm down, breathe. As a ninja, my first priority is success and mission. But as a friend, I care for the safety of my team. Danger could be waiting around me every turn. If I allow it, fear will consume me. And if it does, I will have lost to my enemies without them even having to lift a finger. So how do you fight it? The fear, I mean. Ezio says he has a simple technique. Have faith in yourself and the strength in your friends. You may not know why you're here now, but that doesn't matter. You are here where you need to be. If there's trouble, there's quite a few people back there who are ready to stand with you. So go back to that garden and enjoy the fruits of your labor. You deserve that much." So Silver breathed a sigh of relief. "Right. You guys make me feel like I can do anything. Thank you, SPO, for real." And then he brings him into a hug, which surprises SBO, but says, "Thank you, I suppose." To which they hear Charlie's voice. He's screaming, "Yar, I'm the Potato King!" To which Silver then offers SBO some help, and the two walk back to the garden together. So this was also another interesting story, if not for the intentional setup, but also SBO and Silver. I know they were put together for Sonic Rivals 2. I know that much.
Yes, they were. They were put together for Rivals 2, and I think that's the intention. And I do like this pairing. I like the idea of, Silver being kind of a spaz and SBO being the straight man and, working through some of his issues. And I like the two of them a lot. It's more of like the, Silver's a big softie and SBO's more of like the straight edge man. So it's cool. It's a unique pairing. I like stuff like this.
Now, our next story here, titled Another Grand Adventure for Jet the Hawk. This one's going to be cooking some spicy shit right here. It is written by Ian Muchler and art by Natalie Haynes. So look, Ian Muchler kind of made a name for himself quite recently, as he wrote The Murder of Sonic the Hedgehog.
Well, now we know that he was cooking even back then.
Oh yeah, and otherwise he's mostly a storyboarder. He has worked on official Sonic projects in the past, like Mania Adventures and Sonic Racing Overdrive. This is his first writing credit, this one story. Meanwhile, with Natalie Haynes, she works on covers for IDW Sonic, and it also seems like from my research, she made a Sonic fan comic called Mecha Drive, which I only found the one example from her website. I don't know where it could be, if shit's been taken down. I don't know who's to say, but that's what it all appears. We start off simple. Jet's office in his blimp. My boy's eating a calzone for lunch. He's heating it up. And on his desk is a birthday card saying, "With skill and confidence, you are as free as the wind," from Dad. So his dad is still alive, actually. That's interesting.
Yeah, weird call, right? I don't know if we're ever going to get that, but maybe.
Maybe. Then he hears the microwave ding. He turns around ready to have a nice meal, but he sees a cyan wisp stealing his food and zips out of there when it's caught. Then we find out later it was one of Whisper's wisps and brings her the food. She goes, "Ooh, a calzone. Tasty." Bites into it and looks out through her scope, trying to take down a super badnik in her sights. But then the element of surprise is lost as Jet screams over his stolen calzone, coming to Whisper saying, "You have stolen that from the leader of the Babylon Rogues. Now you will make it up to me." I will? Yeah, think of all the gems I could have stolen if I didn't have to chase my lunch. Now you owe me gems and a calzone. Now quickly, I'm hungry. Don't waste my time. To which Cyan brings him a banana, which he doesn't want, but Whisper tells him to be quiet. The badnik, "I can't hear you over whispering, over the sound of my tummy." To which Jet is alerted to and grabbed by the badnik and now held captive. "Let me down. Don't you know who I am? Hey, calzone poacher, grab on the Type J," which leads Whisper to climb on top of Jet's board, and she's kind of like wobbling on it, seeming like she's never ridden extreme gear before. And Jet can tell she's struggling and shouts for her to just stand up. The whole planet knows the gear can just balance itself out. Just pretend to be me and you'll be fine. But Whisper is still struggling to ride as the badnik is getting to leave, still holding on to Jet, and he keeps going. Yeah, personally, I don't know what it's like to handle extreme gear. I was born incredibly gifted. Stop talking. A wise man told me once, with enough skill and confidence, you are as free as the wind. To which Whisper has had enough, screams, "Be quiet!" and fires a full laser shot at the badnik's leg, cripples it, falling into a net trap. Jet is unscathed, still caught in the grasp though, saying, "Wow, with enough proper training, you could be a great Babylon rogue. Are your afternoons free?" "I'm busy." "What? Can you speak up?" Whisper takes her leave, and the cyan wisp comes back to Jet, offering up the half-eaten calzone. Still owed a fresh one, So that's a fun story. Jet being a little fuck. Always a big fan of that.
Yeah, he's just being a fucking clown, as always. So let's finish off with our final story today, A Rough Patch, starring two quite interesting individuals.
And it is with both writing and art done by Hammerstrom, with Hammerstrom's first writing credit, so congratulations. In Spiral Hill Village, Ruff and Tumble have made an abandoned tower their hideout. They're arguing in full earshot of the town over them not getting their rhymes right. No one's gonna take us seriously otherwise. But Ruff gets the slants right, but Tumble wants to move on to their plans, unless you got a better idea. Maybe I will. Maybe I'll do it without you. Fine, if you couldn't do better rhyming if you were trying. To which Ruff leaves, head held low. That was a slant rhyme, bro. Just get out! If I never see your stinking face again, it'll be too soon. They're gone, they're separated, and later at that night, at the Mineral Museum, they had just put their latest artifact on display, the White Chaos Emerald. Ruff and Tumble enter from their 2 separate skylights. Oh, this height's gonna be huge. We got the right stuff. It won't be a fumble. We'll take a new angle. It's Emerald Snatching time for Ruff and Tangle, or Rouge and Tumble. What are you doing here? And what is she doing here? To which Tangle then nudges Tumble. What do you mean, partner? We're here to get the Chaos Emerald and protect it from those ruffians. You said so yourself, right? Yeah. Yeah, I did say that. Rouge has to think fast and tells Ruff, oh, they must have followed us here to try to steal the emerald out from under us. Ruff ain't gonna have that and charges in. Tangle pushes Tumble in and the two get into a cartoonish brawl fighting each other, dust cloud and all. As they're busy, Rouge goes to Tangle. What are you doing here? I didn't expect to see your face in a jewel heist. But Tangle says, I'm just basically babysitting. You're undercover too, right? Yeah, let's go with that. And asked how you got roped into this. Rouge says she was in the area for reasons. Ruff waved her down and explained his plan to her. And honestly, it was surprisingly competent. As for Tangle, Tumble basically pleaded with her to join him on this vigilante hero work, he called it. The girls watched the fight go on. Rouge is kind of surprised Tangle would break into her friend's own museum. She says, oh, no, I go through the skylight all the time. I've roped in Jewel on many impromptu adventures this way. Oh, that's fun. She spent enough time here. You want to help me bring him in? Yeah, I'm down. You got a plan? Oh, I wouldn't be the world's greatest treasure hunter. Treasure hunter if I didn't. Oh, yeah, undercover buddies. So she's so excited. Ruff and Tumble are still going ham. Ruff pissed that Tumble would go goody-goody to get in the way, but he says he didn't know he'd be here. I just told this weird chick I was doing some good, so someone would come along with me. So you were trying to steal the emerald in, like, a regular thrifty way, right? Yeah, just like you. And then our boys come together, teary-eyed, saying, bro, did we just come up with the same plan, bro? Bro, they hug, they're crying it out. Sorry, bro, we fought enough. Yeah, you're right. We sure did stumble, but we made up. Now we're back. Get ready for Ruff and Tumble. But then we get a response from the girls. You played me for a stooge. Now you're going to get mangled. Your master plans are going to get stomped by Rouge and Tangle. Why does everybody keep doing our... Tangle knocks him out. Easy, and ties the boys up with her tail. Easy peasy. The emerald is safe and sound. Not really. It's gone, she notices. Rouge got it in hand, has to head out with the skylight. Started to dupe and run, but it's kind of what I do. See ya! As Tangle is looking up out of the sky going, undercover buddies. Then Ruff and Tumble swear, no more teaming up with anyone else. It's Ruff and Tumble forever, bro. That's it! We're done! God damn it!
Yeah, this was almost 4 hours of footage. We're going to end on a very brief note. We will see you guys next time for the IDW Sonic Rundown. Great comics today, but I'm going to be honest, I am so tapped out energy-wise, but we did a great job today. I'm real happy about it, and we will see you guys next time for our tentative finale.
Although, before we go, one final shout-out. We got a new patron, literally just came in today. Multi-slashed at $2 a month. Thank you so much for joining. Get all this exclusive content. My friend, you are really getting a bang for your buck here, let me tell you.
Yes, you are, as are the rest of our patrons. Join at any time. Patreon.com/SonicSpeed. Discount code Alpha. We're fucking out. See ya.
Good night, everybody.
He's got his such names. I'll tell you who that is. That is Dr. Eggman. With his evil empire and evil plans. Eggman wants to conquer the world, but the hedgehog won't let that go. Whenever Sonic's anger explodes, his enemies will meet the fury of his aggression. And that will change anyone's perceptions without him. What you see is what you get. Just a guy that loves adventures. It's Sonic the Hedgehog. And Rose can't help but feel love for him. He's a superhero, but she's his self-proclaimed girlfriend. He cannot save her, but he will always save her. Whenever something is up, some kind of danger, and the story goes on. It's always super fun. What you see is what you get. Just a guy that loves adventures. It's Sonic the Hedgehog. What you see is what you get. Just a guy that loves adventures. It's Sonic the Hedgehog.
Maybe I spoke too fast. Let's try again. Hi, I'm Sonic the Hedgehog. And you are? This enrages Scourge. Oh my god, I almost said Scourge. Holy shit.
We call that a Freudian slip.
It is a Freudian slip, sorry.